read. If you read this, you are gay, LMAO. We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF.
up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here, and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And It was as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. This bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last two nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes, because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with with words I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country, and he said, "I'm not optimistic." He said, "I hate optimism." Like, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened. He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Governor, can you please speak to whether the suspect is speaking with authorities and his demeanor, Tyler Robinson, when he turned himself in?
I cannot speak to that right now.
Governor, how do you interpret the engravings on the casing?
Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not. And by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating.
You talked about this level of hatred that this person expressed. Beyond that, is there anything in your view that you discovered that may have radicalized or changed him to prompt him to commit such a horrific?
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Do you believe he acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing.
Can you detail at all? Can you detail at all how he came into custody of police and where he is right now?
Yes. So right now, Mr. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that he was taken into custody. That his family and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. For those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, I'll go here. I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah. So how we obtained the gun was found here. Yeah, so I don't have much more details on that. We do know that he drove. We had his car here on campus, and then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a motive?
I'm sorry. We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that. Yes, in fact, it was just released. Yes.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a motive?
I can't answer that right now. Yeah, thank you. Over here. I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history. Yes. The question is what kind of watershed, and that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history, or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? Look. I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature, this feels a lot like the late 60s. And having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets, we are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together. The Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion tonight. Last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be. I mean, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there, but this is our moment. Do we escalate, or do we find an off-ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions right here.
Could we clarify that the release of those enhanced images at 8 p.m. timeline that Director Patel gave us led to the arrest at 10 p.m.? Is there a direct connection between those two events?
I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that that through some process, the family came to know that this had happened.
One more thing, Governor. Could you just clarify the clothing issue you mentioned earlier? Was he changing outfits?
Correct. Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU. Last question here. Yes.
Suspect was from Utah. Can you kind of tell us a little bit more about where, was he a student here at this university, and is there any history of mental illness?
Yeah. So I don't have any information on the mental illness part. He was not a student here at UVU. He was living and had lived for a long time with his family in Washington County, in the southernmost part of our state. Thank you, everyone, for your great work in getting this information out. I just say, process-wise, this may be important. I know many of you aren't familiar with the process in Utah. I think it's important that you understand that. Basically, we have 3 days for charging documents to be filed. A CI will be filed. We'll have more information then, more detailed information, as those charging documents are filed in preparation for a preliminary hearing. So 3 days. So we would anticipate then that early next week those charging documents will be filed. We will obviously be working. The county attorney will be working very closely with Mr. Kirk's family as those documents and decisions are prepared and made. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, so the suspect is in custody. Tyler Robinson, the mugshot on the screen right there. From the governor's office. Thanks to credit to B&O News for letting me use their mugshot there. And we're going to take your comments on the air. I want to show you. I'm going to go back and just in a moment play the part where it was described, where the governor at the beginning gave information about that we got about how the suspect came to be in custody. Also, the writings on the on the gun and on the casings. Let me show you something about that. This right here is from hang on a moment here. I'm going to show you what the writings were on the ammunition and on the ammunition. Let me do that. Hang on, right here. So you can see this is from B&O News. Sorry. B&O News did a nice summary of the writings on the ammunition. So I want to show you that. Fired casing, notices bulges, OWO, what's this? Oh, are they saying anything more? Okay. Yeah, the feed is, let's just do this. Unfired casings, hey, fascist, catch, up arrow, right arrow, down arrow, down arrow, down arrow. Oh, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow, Chow. And if you read this, you are gay, LMAO.
Okay. You want to know what's crazy?
What I want to do is,
What's up, my dude?
before we
Yes,
take your
Latino.
comments, I just
You want to know what all these motherfuckers got in common?
conference.
Excuse my language, because I'm really
Governor
pissed off.
basically gives the information about the person, about the evidence.
All of them
about,
went to college.
Discord messages that
They all
the
went to
person
college. He went to
posted.
Utah College. They're
So
going to
let me
all of
just
them went
do
to
that
college.
right
Nigga,
now
you think that
regarding
shot
just
up?
to clarify
All of them.
things a bit. And
Read the
I'm going to
book.
put that on right now. I just want to go back and find that particular part here, and we'll show that to you, and then we'll take your comments. Oops, sorry. Ash Farm said, hang on. I am pulling it up right now. Here it is. I'll have it for you right now once it starts playing.
Everyone, thank you for filing into the live. Please go ahead and like this live.
I need
Again,
to cue it up.
John Galt has questions to ponder. It will be coming up
Okay,
live
here it is.
again
I'm
today
going
at
to
7 p.m.
replay
Eastern.
the part of the press conference where the governor kind of goes over everything. There's this. There's this.
Dude, they all went to college. And I've been
This.
told from other people, read a book. Read a book. I mean, how many
You need
books
to
have
go to
these
school,
people been
Latino, for
reading
Trump.
and doing all the shootings that they do? Man, come on, dog.
Okay,
Like,
here we go.
crazy, bro.
This is the replay of what the governor said at the start of the press conference about the general information he gave out about the suspect.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UU. They talked about
Burgess
why they
actually
didn't
have to
like him
disagree
and the
with that
viewpoints that he had. The family
People
member
that are
also
educated
stated
on
Kirk was
guns are
full of
less likely
hate
to commit
and
these
spreading
crimes.
hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who's worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in.
Okay. And then before I take your comments, the last thing I want to do is just get right at the start when he talked about the family friend. What was that specific? How did that work with the family friend? Hold on, I'm going to do this. Just listen to the first 30 seconds again.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
It was a pastor.
On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah.
So last night, a family member contacted a family friend and told it. I think he means that the family member says to the family friend, "Hey, Tyler Robinson confessed to this." And then the family friend contacted authorities. And the family member may have been the father. There's some reporting about this. I don't think he specified, though. So again, last night,
It's a
family member contacted a family friend. The family, as I understand it, the family member said, "Hey, Tyler Robinson confessed to this thing." And then the family friend contacted law enforcement.
Like, dude, like how Partner, I want to ask you something.
I'll play that again. It's just I'm trying to follow the exact.
Yeah, go ahead.
County Sheriff's Office committed office and reached out to a family friend who contacted.
Do you have any children?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shirt.
Again, he said, last night a family member contacted a family friend. And from my interpretation of what the governor said is that the family member said that Tyler Robinson confessed. And then the family friend contacted authorities. This was last night. Okay. That's the, now, I don't know what's, somebody asked about the reward. I don't know how this works with the reward. Does the family member and the family friend get the $100,000 reward, up to $100,000? I have no idea.
It's 10,000.
Anyways, by the way, on your screen right now, you are seeing the mugshot. This is the mugshot. The governor's office sent this out, thanks to B&O News, who letting me use their mugshot there. But that is from the governor's office. And also, speaking of B&O News, I do want to again show you guys, because they did a nice job over there of they have a post with the writings that are on the casings here. So let me show you this. Oops. The writings engraved on the ammunition. Oops, you can't see it. You'll see it in a second. There it is. Now, I am not fluent in the references to all this stuff. A lot of you guys probably get the references better than me. From what I understand, the Bella Ciao is a popular thing that's said on TikTok. And
Well, time. I don't think.
Great. Chris Reed, thank you for the $2 super chat. I wonder how much time does Fowler going to get? It's a good question, Chris.
Fowler, I'm guessing that is this guy over here.
His name is Tyler. Yeah, Tyler Robinson. That's a great question. We're going to find out. He's in custody.
Well, from what I'm hearing, I don't think they want to give this man time.
With Thrivent, your financial journey isn't a solo mission. Your money is a tool to support the people, causes, and community you love. Because sometimes all you need to make.
I'll tell you this, though. If the judge happens to be a right-leaning judge, you best believe it. Dead men walking. But if
you think he'll be walking? Okay.
But if he's a liberal, chances are he's probably going to do life in prison.
Yeah, Tyler. He means Tyler.
Another family member, Robinson, mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger.
Latino for Trump.
Investigators identified an individual.
So that's, if I
super chat, right, his sentence, life or death, it depends on the judge's political affiliation.
The suspect.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And did not like Charlie Kirk. By the way, the suspect, there's no other arrests anticipated.
Unless the governor pushes for it. So that's another.
Okay, so I want to, let me go back here. Sorry, hang on a moment.
Utah
I want to
is
take some comments
red,
from you guys.
bleeding red. Oh
Um,
yeah, crimson,
But
burgundy.
the suspect is in custody. Let me see here. Let me just
Yeah,
get
if that's
the, I
the
want to get
case,
the
he's
writing
fucked.
back up on the screen. There you go.
But what I do want, and I think it needs to happen, it's they need to publicly do it. And what I
Public
mean,
trial, like
no, not the
McVeigh.
trial, the execution.
They say that Utah still has the firing squad. However, this is a federal crime. He's going to be tried in federal court.
I understand that, but
Right.
if they could do that, right? Let's say it sends a message to these liberals that shit, this could be you, and the whole world is on notice, especially you crazy blue-headed motherfuckers. So that's all I'm saying, and then hopefully, probably, maybe these people could stop acting this way or not commit these type of crimes.
Some of our viewers are saying that he possibly went to Utah State. I don't have that myself. I was just trying to figure out what happened, what they said in the press conference, but I couldn't recall in the press conference it being said about what he was doing now. Oops, sorry. Hold on a second here. Who gave him the gun? So I don't know, was that said in the press conference where he got the gun? I don't recall it being said. Spin City says there is a video of him reading his acceptance letter to UVU. Is that true? I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I seen that earlier. You can hear his mom in the background being all extra happy that he's going.
There's also B&O News also got an arrest report. Oh no, it says it's what was mentioned during the basically it was what was mentioned during the press conference. That part of it. Hold on a second here. Oh, now I want to say this. So we had heard, there was reporting yesterday, like, for example, the Washington Post, not the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal had a report yesterday that said the exact words of the Wall Street Journal report yesterday, and there were some other outlets reporting this too. The exact words of the Wall Street Journal were, that the ammunition was engraved with transgender and anti-fascist ideology. Now, I'm not familiar with the origins of basically everything here in the references. It doesn't scream out to me. I believe that Bella Ciao may have some anti-fascist connotations, but I don't know how he's using it. So anyways, look, that's what it was written. I'm not going to start making pronouncements on this stuff without, I don't know all the references. I will say this, though. There's nothing overt. It's not overtly and explicitly supporting some sort of anti-fascist transgender ideology. But again, I don't know all the references, so I'm not going to start making pronunciations on it. But Carl T. Joyful, our viewer, says it's all memes. My sense is that you would need to get the references to get what all of this is intended to get at. I'm aware that it says, hey, fascist, but somebody calling somebody a fascist is different than that is different than what would be commonly held as anti-fascist ideology. There are anti-fascist groups. Someone might think someone is a fascist, but not be affiliated or share beliefs with anti-fascist groups. So when the New York Times, when the report, so yes, it says, "Hey, fascist, catch," but you can. The report that was floating around yesterday was that the the writing on the ammunition contained anti-fascist ideology. So I don't. To me, saying "Hey, fascist, catch," as disturbing that is to read, no, especially knowing that this person shot and killed Charlie Kirk, does not mean that this person was shared belief sets with, say, anti-fascist groups. You know, so I mean, this is not approving of what the person did. Okay, so Evan Hill of the New York Times has something about. I want to give me 1 second here. Let me pull something up. Hold on. Hang on a moment here. Hang on a moment here. There are the writings. Evan Hill of the he's with the Times, right? Evan, a Washington Post. Evan Hill says the first quote is copy pasta parodying furries. The second is probably a reference to calling in an airstrike in the massively multiplayer online game Helldivers. The third seems to be referring to Bella Ciao, a Italian song dedicated to anti-Nazi partisans. Fourth is just a troll joke. That again is from Evan Hill, who is with the who does open source and visual forensic investigations for the Washington Post. I'm just trying to give you some sort of sense of where these things are coming from. I am not an expert on these references here. Yeah, Arik Toller, who I follow, who is with the New York Times, and he does visual investigation stuff and OSINT stuff. He says, "Hey, fascist, catch," and the arrows is a Helldivers 2 thing. You can release an airdrop bomb with that button sequence. Is the "Hey, fascist, catch" from Helldivers 2 or just the arrows? Helldivers 2 is a video game. He says the button sequence is from Helldivers. uh, strong negative feelings towards Charlie Kirk. And Charlie, that isn't specifically written in here. I mean, there's a hey fascist catch, but my point is that I don't want us to start saying, well, to understand his motivation, I don't think we can just say, well, let's analyze these memes that were written on the bullets. Hang on a second here. Now, I'm sorry. Michael Ruiz with Fox News Digital says Tyler Robinson attended Utah State University for 1 semester in 2021. Okay, so again, Michael Ruiz of Fox News Digital says Tyler Robinson attended Utah State University for 1 semester. That's different. Hold on a second here. That's not the university where he was killed. He was killed at Utah Valley University. Screen Door Slams, our viewer says, looks like he was very online. The governor today said social media is a cancer on our society right now. Yeah, he was not a student at that school. Our viewer Fern says definitely super online. And I believe there's not supposed. I think at the end of the press conference, the governor said something that there would be a hearing in the coming days, like a court hearing or something. I'm not sure what when his first appearance in court will be. The suspect. And here again is the mugshot. Oops. Was going to be the mugshot. Uh-oh. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Hang on one moment here. Is this going to work? Let's see if this works. Here we go. Barry M says, not a student, but knew how to get access to the roof, not buying it. Oh, a whole other aspect of this is the gun. So he left the gun after. So, we have been talking about this, and a bunch of our viewers have saying, why did he not take the gun with him? So why would he just leave it there? So interestingly, in the press conference, it was said that he messaged his roommate, right? And it sounded like he told the roommate to pick up the gun, right? He gave the roommate the gun, the location of the gun, and wanted the roommate, I think, to retrieve it. If I have that right, I'll try to replay that audio.
As the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits.
Yeah, so it kind of sounded like he wanted the roommate to go pick up the weapon, maybe? That's how I was understanding things. One of our viewers said drop point is the key word there. Yeah, so Mick Funpants said, so the roommate didn't immediately report him to police. That is a good question. So when did the roommate get those messages? I think some of our viewers were saying they thought the roommate might be in trouble. And I think maybe what the viewers were thinking is, well, I mean, did the roommate have messages showing that Tyler Robinson, his roommate, did this, and did he not come forward? But remember, the authorities said that no one else, as of right now, that no one else is going to be arrested. They don't anticipate arresting anybody else. But I don't know the specifics here, so I'm not blaming the roommate by any means at all. I'm just saying I don't remember that being said. It's possible the roommate hadn't read the messages. It's possible the roommate did submit tips. I don't know. But I certainly understand the question. Dancing in the Sand says, who knew his plans beforehand? So, I don't know if there's any evidence that he talked about doing this with anybody beforehand. It's a fair question, and I do not know. We didn't, they didn't get into that much detail in the press conference about all that. I would not be surprised if more details come out in the coming days, weeks, whatever, about the planning for this. Was this said at all? Again, I can't remember every word of the press conference. Was it talked about whether he went over there and did?
Hello, Helene. Helen, good morning. Good morning, Helen. Just wanted to reach out to you, say good morning. Good morning, Helen. Good morning. Good morning. I wanted to start from the top, from the Times. The Times has some great information in regards to the suspect. We do want to be mindful that this person is all alleged. This person has not been convicted. So we do want to use the appropriate term suspect. Imperious, the resident attorney, I believe you would agree with me on that. Let's call him the suspect. Tyler Robinson, and he is from Utah. He is from Utah. From the information I did read in the chat, Burgess, thank you. He is a member, his family is a member of the Unitarian Church. And it was his family and his pastor who actually advised this young man to turn himself in. And as we can see, he's about, 72 inches? And that's 6. So and you can tell, look at that forehead and that jaw. That's a 6-footer plus. That's a 6-footer, 22 years old. How sad. It's very sad. Let's go ahead and get started with reading. The 22-year-old is named Tyler Robinson from Utah. Officials said Robinson had become political and believed Charlie Kirk was full of hate. Messages including "Hey fascist" were found engraved on bullets. Kirk was shot dead on Wednesday, unalived on Wednesday, while speaking at Utah Valley University. The governor, social media as a cancer on our society. Earlier at the press conference, Spencer Cox described social media as a cancer on our society right now. The Utah governor referenced the rapid spread of graphic video of Kirk's fatal shooting, along with the recent release of video showing the deadly stabbing of a Ukrainian immigrant on a commuter train in Charlotte, North Carolina. He said that Americans weren't used to seeing such graphic imagery and encouraged people to step away from their devices. This is not good for us, Cox said. Big step in justice for Kirk, says J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, the vice president, thanked state and federal law enforcement for giving the murder investigation the time, resources, and hard work it deserved. This is a big breakthrough, and everyone who helped, from law enforcement professionals to the people giving tips, deserves our credit and gratitude, Vance wrote on X. In some ways, the investigation is still in the early days, but I do believe we have the shooter in custody. Vance asked for prayers for Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, and their 2 young children. We took a big step this morning in getting justice for Charlie and for his family. Thanks be to God for that. Tyler Robinson left unique rifle at drop point. So here's a picture of Tyler in his dorm room, it appears. Tyler Robinson messaged a roommate on the messaging app Discord after the shooting to say that he needed help retrieving a rifle from a drop point, the Utah governor said. Spencer Cox said the roommate showed several messages to investigators, indicating that Robinson had left the rifle in a bush and had been watching the area. Robinson was alleged to have told the roommate that he had wrapped the rifle in a towel, made engravings on bullets, and made a reference to the rifle being unique. Law enforcement not seeking other arrests. Taking questions from reporters, Spencer Cox said that law enforcement was not expecting to make any other arrests. The Utah governor confirmed that Tyler Robinson's father and a family friend brought him into custody in Washington, Utah, where he lived. Governor prayed suspect was not from Utah. Cox said he had been praying that the suspect was not one of us, adding he hoped that the individual had come to Utah from another state or another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for. Just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. But it did happen here, and it was one of us. What if God was one of us? Like a slob, like one of us. Just a stranger on a bus, trying to make his way. In Utah. Utah governor sad and angry as I have ever been. Spencer Cox, the governor of Utah, became emotional as he said that Kirk was murdered while exercising his right to free speech. Political violence is different from every other type of violence, Spencer said. Having his life taken in that very act makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas and speak freely. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. As anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. Kash Patel, rest now, brother. I'll see you in Valhalla, says FBI director. Valhalla, interesting. Kash Patel, the FBI director, said the suspect's family members did the right thing. Kash Patel, the FBI director, paid tribute to the tireless efforts of law enforcement in bringing the suspect in. He said he wanted to thank Tyler Robinson's family members who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into law enforcement. To my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla. Suspect confessed to shooting, says governor. The suspect is alleged to have confessed to shooting Charlie Kirk when he was approached by police early on Friday, Spencer Cox said. When police interviewed him, Robinson was wearing the same clothing that he wore on the day of the shooting, the Utah governor added. Cox thanked the suspect's family for their assistance in the investigation. Surveillance video showed the suspect arriving near the Utah Valley University campus in a Dodge Challenger on Wednesday morning, about 4 hours before Kirk was shot. Killer inscribed, "Hey fascist," on bullets. Law enforcement found several inscriptions on unspent cartridges in the murder weapon. A Mauser bolt-action rifle, Spencer Cox said. The inscription read, "Hey fascist, catch." On a separate unfired bullet were the words, "O bella ciao, o bella bow, o bella ciao ciao ciao," referencing the Italian folk song associated with anti-fascism. Engravings on another bullet read, "If you read this, you are gay. You're gay." Suspect said Kirk was full of hate, says governor. Spencer Cox, the governor of Utah, began the press conference saying, "We got him." Cox said that a family member contacted law enforcement last night to identify him as the suspect in Kirk's unaliving. Cox said that Tyler Robinson had become more political in recent years. Robinson has spoken to family members about Charlie Kirk coming to Utah Valley University and had described the conservative influencer as being full of hate, according to Cox. Trump, on moment, he was told Kirk had been shot. During his interview on Fox and Friends, Trump said he had been holding a meeting about the construction of a new White House ballroom when his aides interrupted with the news that Kirk had been unalived. They came in and they said, "Charlie Kirk is dead." I didn't know what they had meant. I said, "What do you mean, dead?" Trump said. Charlie Kirk was shot, and they thought he was dead because it was so horrific. Trump said he swiftly ended his meeting. "I just told these people, get out. You gotta go." The remaining news is not new. It's everything that we already know. Reading the comments, yeah, Valhalla shredded. That is wild. So if I remember correct, that's Viking heaven. So all of those who fight the Vikings, their goal, like there's Elysium. Elysium is heaven to the Romans. The Vikings, it's Valhalla. If I'm incorrect, please correct me. Super chat, Chris Reed. Tell me, how did it end up from the top of the building into some grass for the towel on it when he was hands-free running off the top of the building? Chris Reed, good point. So he ran on top of the building with no towel, but then he comes down with no towel, but the weapon was wrapped in a towel and placed in the bushes. Yes, Bluegrass, Valhalla. That is wild. That is wild. Genesee Ben, the world is wicked and it tries to make the same out of you. Very true. Bluegrass, good old fake church. Well, I said he was Unitarian. No, we need to see the evil. Yes, Helen, good morning. Good morning, Helen. Good morning. Good morning. We do have our ways. The bail, okay, the bail was 5 million. I'll check that. Or denied. So either denied or 5 million, probably denied. But 5 million wouldn't be surprising. But 20% of 5 million, that's still $1 million. I mean, that's $1 million. That's a cold million, 20%. So he would still need to put out, which I doubt his family has, nor his church. There's his mugshot. I like to, here's a picture of him, and there's him in the room. I mean, there's him in his dorm room. This is so dorm. There's his monitor, a picture probably of his family right here. Light, water bottle, pens, very dorm. If you look at the bed, this is very much like a college dorm, even the furniture. Wow. Brian Nichols, Atticus, why are you so concerned about his procedural rights? If someone like me would have caught him, he would have never seen a courtroom or jail cell. Brian Nichols, yes, I mean, definitely see your sentiments, but we had to go through due process. We must go through due process. I mean, this is the United States, and we shall go through due process. And let's see everything. Oh yeah, just like you said, Atticus, bail hearing denied or 5 million, probably. Yeah, let's not read what he wrote on the bullets. It's insignificant. Okay, good point. Good point. Slick Rick, mentally, they're still children. Yes, but he's 22 years old, and we all know he's going to be tried as an adult in federal court. And a question to ponder is if the death penalty will be up. That's a good question for all of us to find out. Hey, Ryan, nah, he was just a crazy guy, not a leftist socialist, no possible way. Okay, Ryan, I see. Arrested Development, yeah, went to charm school. Hey, thank you. Just the nuns were good, proper. Thank you. I appreciate the comment, EAE. Thank you. A virtual curtsy to you. Arrested Development. Yes, Atticus, it is. Wow. And just his family. I do feel for his family and his church. Do feel, and he was living with his family. More than likely, I think he was with his family at 22 years old. Maybe he was living on his own with a roommate, possibly. They said he was about 4 or 5 hours outside of either the university or from Salt Lake City. So he may have been able to afford rent on his own with a roommate, or he lived with his family. And if you look at the picture right here in the dorm, right here, this picture, more than likely, that's his family. And look at that, a bottle of Sprite and a water bottle. I mean, he's so college, like it's just plain as day. Even the hat. And you have to wonder, why did he not rush? Imperious, why did he not rush? Join a frat. But Charlie Kirk would go to the schools, and he was hard on these students. He was. But Charlie Kirk deserving of this? Absolutely not. Well, I don't think it was a right winger. It's not he's from Utah, but I don't necessarily think he's a right winger. A lot of these young people from Utah, they are very, very liberal, blue, open to being blue. So I don't think he was as political as much as that he just did not like Charlie Kirk. So it's hard to put a political stance on him, especially at his age. I just don't think he liked Charlie Kirk. And Charlie Kirk was known through TPUSA for doing the rounds at these colleges. Ben Shapiro was part of TPUSA. I mean, Ben Shapiro, as old as he was, you went to law school, I think he went to Harvard. You're going back and forth with these college kids, trying to check these college kids. Candace Owens, the same thing. I think Milo was also associated. I know Milo did the whole college rounds. You have grown people, grown millennials. You're going to these colleges to basically just go back and forth with college kids. I do remember Tatum going to these colleges, and he was a little bit more, less combative. Like, you don't, like, these are college kids. They just left high school. Why try to like embarrass them? Why try to prove that you're smart? They're in college. You went to Harvard Law School. What are you trying to prove? They're 22 years old. They've barely gone through a 1,300 introductory course. And they're going to think, they're teenagers. They're going to believe that they know everything. Teenagers are impetuous. Why are you pushing 40, going back and forth with someone who's 19? So that's my spiel. I mean, but TPUSA did gather a lot of attention at these colleges. However, I do remember Ann Coulter, I don't think she was at a college, maybe she was, but someone threw something at her. And also, I will say, I personally have seen that many of these college professors, they like to incite. And I have seen that, and I can actually find a video on YouTube where there is a very despicable college professor who would incite anger and hate from the LGBT on her campus. And she actually started a riot, and this is not alleged. This is not alleged. And she caused a lot of trouble on a college campus, and she was an instructor. So let's remember that you have these schools, you have a very young, impressionable mind. That's why I don't think it's fair to put political affiliation on someone who's 20, 21, 22 years old. You're still very young. A lot of you are still reading. Many of you have not even read Emma Goldman. Many of you have not even read many of these known anarchists. You haven't even read many of these. I mean, has this Charlie, has not even, has Tyler Robinson, heck, has Charlie Kirk, have any of them actually gone through the Communist Manifesto? Have any of them actually studied Engels and Marx? You have to wonder these things. You have a lot of people who just use Cliff Notes. You have a lot of people who just read the internet, watch YouTube videos. They don't actually go to class. I do wonder if Charlie Kirk ever actually went to class. I do wonder. I do. And study. You're in a classroom with a professor who has gone through the book. You're going in class, reading and debating, asking questions. You have to write a paper on the Communist Manifesto. You're reading the writings of Engels. You're reading the writings of Marx. You study the history of where Marx grew up. Marx was born and raised in Prussia. If you know anything about Prussia, Atticus, we discussed Prussia on another channel. If you know anything about their history, Prussia was actually the founding state, where the Enlightenment thinking started. It was promulgated, was in Prussia, which many Americans don't even study, let alone in college, definitely not in high school. So you have a lot of people who read bits and pieces of Marxism, who read bits and pieces. They don't even know what socialism is. They don't know what communism is. They don't know what Marxism is. They cannot tell you the difference between these three, but yet they will easily throw socialism. You're a socialist. You're a communist. You are a Marxist. They throw these words, so like just gallivant. They just with such ease without even knowing meaning and definition. So be very mindful about that. We don't know if he's a right winger. We know that he's from Utah. Someone in the chat, Burgess, thank you, that he was a member of the Unitarian Church. That doesn't mean anything, except that he's a member of this church. But we do know his family turned him in. So we can just imagine what his family is going through right now, that your 22-year-old that you probably saw on Sunday at church and at dinner would do something like this. So let's be very mindful before we start putting these political terms, this political affiliation onto someone this young without getting full information. What we do know is that he did not like Charlie Kirk. That's what we do know, to the point that he did what he did, allegedly. Until he's tried convicted, until I hear him say this, until I get more information, we don't know. We're just reading, but we have not heard this 22-year-old speak. So let's remember there's due process. Let's also remember he's going to receive his day in court. He may or may not testify on his own behalf. We have yet to have seen counsel, which he is afforded. We have not seen legal counsel in Imperious. You know I'm right about that. Imperious, you would not even allow, we all know you, at the very least, Imperious, you're not a stupid guy, to even have someone like him speak right now. He needs to let counsel speak for him. All we have is that the governor, Kash Patel, and some law enforcement in Utah have spoken. That's all we know. And we don't know he's a troon, Moxie. No, we don't know. No, we don't. I'm not getting troon energy from him. Look at him. I'm getting 22-year-old. He went to church with his family. What's this name? Is that the name of his roommate? Adam Weisput? Well, two different things, Chris Reed. Chris Reed, thank you always for your support, but let's do one at a time. Carmelo's going to be state. That's a state crime, tried, and I will keep on top of that, Chris Reed. I will keep on top of that, what's going on with Carmelo. Don't worry about that. I actually know who his attorney is, so I'll be keeping on top of that. Carmelo's trial is set for April 2026, Chris Reed. So I'll be on top of that, and I'll definitely make sure to keep this channel and all of you in the channel abreast. We actually spoke about his shooting skills, DG Dwale, hello. We actually have a live yesterday. Ryan and Brave, thank you very much. Ryan made a good point. His shooting skills were subpar. But we do have our live yesterday, the first live, where Ryan and Brave do go into detail in regards to his shooting skills. We think it's very, very weak. We do. But I will have to bring that live down because the video that we did use has actually been pulled off YouTube. You really think so, Ryan? Radical liberal? I just don't want to see that right now, Ryan. I just don't want to see that. So right now we have some people thinking he's radical liberal, some people thinking that he's Republican conservative. I'll ask John Galt to put up a poll to see where he is. I just don't know. I just don't want to put that affiliation on him. He's 22 years old. You can't really call yourself liberal, conservative, Republican. I just can't see all this. This kid probably has not done the reading. He only did one semester in college. All we know is that he comes from, we can say definitively, I feel definitively that he is, he comes from the church, his family's church. That's all we really, really know. And he's probably still living with his parents. And yes, Utah is a very conservative state, very conservative. The LDS church, very prominent, very proud. They built Utah. Utah is beautiful, by the way. One thing for sure, this 22-year-old grew up in the most beautiful, beautiful area. Utah has like green rolling hills. He probably comes from a very large family. We don't know much about him yet. So that will be released within the ensuing days. I do wonder why Kash Patel said Valhalla. Like Kash Patel, Valhalla, like he's like that. That's interesting. Valhalla, like Kash Patel claims Viking. I mean, Kash Patel. Yeah, I don't think he's a troon, but I'm more interested what like Kash Patel to even reference Valhalla. That is something that is wild. That's wild. Yeah, Utah, beautiful mountains, great hikes. So beautiful. Yes, Moxie. Oh my God. No, they're saying that he's not Mormon. They're saying that he's a member of the Unitarian Church. That's what I've read so far. And Burgess in the chat, thank you, Burgess. You are always so informative and resourceful, that he's a member of the Unitarian Church. So he's not Mormon from what we have right now. He's not LDS. He's not LDS. Helen, do you really think he's the one who took a shot like 200 yards away? Helen, that's the thing. We do need to know a little bit more about the gun and the scope. That would be great. We spoke about that yesterday, Helen. There's a possibility that he does have some training, Helen, especially living in the area in Utah. There's plenty of space. And Utah's very pro 2A, plenty of space. Utah, the one thing I do know about Utah, they're very particular about illicit, drugs. We do know from the culture of Utah does not like stimulants, but they do like soda. And there's that Sprite bottle there. They do like soda. They do like sugar in Utah. They do, but they're not really into like drugs. They're not into caffeine, nicotine. I do know they have some other issues there, those issues, but this is just my assumption and my own background with people that I've known from Utah. Utah's wonderful, by the way. My experience has been very positive, very, very positive. So I just don't want to say anything negative about Utah at all. And and I will say for my own self, blessings to Tyler Robinson's family to do what you did, to turn your 22-year-old in. That just takes a lot. And I just blessings to his church.
Man, question to ponder. Come on, I don't believe this is the guy that did it. This doesn't look like the type of guy that would do
Linwood,
that.
one moment. Let's go ahead. One moment, Linwood. Okay, Linwood, I'm going to go ahead and give you a full 3 minutes, Linwood, uninterrupted. Full 3 minutes. Let's go, Linwood. Talk.
I don't believe this is the guy that did it. I mean, this is a 21-year-old kid. Come on, like that. I know Utah's an open carry state, but no. I think this is just a way to deflect and take the attention off the fact that the FBI is incompetent in finding out who actually did this shooting, like a smokescreen. Because prior to this, they had 2 suspects. They let 2 suspects go. What makes it sure that this guy is the one that did it? To go up on Money, think about this. I'm 21 years old. 21 years old. When I was 21, I wasn't thinking about no gun. Hell, I can't stand them. But a military, a sniper's rifle, Unitarian. I've been on Unitarian church. Unitarians talk about peace. They don't get into no gunplay. If it was some so-called liberal or lefty, liberals don't engage in no guns. Most of the guns that I've been around has been from like working white people that work or non-white people who were working. And most of those guns like shotguns and things like that for hunting, like hunting rifles. But I don't believe this young man did that. I mean, I can be in error, but I don't believe this is the man. I think this is just something that Cash Patel is doing because his ass is on the line and he has to throw some sort of meat out there to satisfy the public. Like, oh, everything's been done, guys. Don't worry about it. We investigated. He's the guy that did it. Somebody that did this had military training. You're 21 years old. You should be still in the military by now. You ain't fighting no wars. So I'm suspect. And most black people not going to go out there and carry. They're not carrying that out. Not with no rifle, not with no methodical things like that. Like, you literally have to be trained in that. If this was an unskilled shooter, typically unskilled shooters are stopped in seconds. This thing happened too clean. And this 21-year-old kid, nah, I ain't buying it. And I think y'all should. I think everybody in the panel or the chat, whatever, y'all need to be suspect about this. Be very suspicious about this. If they have 2 suspects already and those suspects were gone, they could clarify those suspects had nothing to do with it. Why should we believe that this is the person that pulled the trigger and did it in the way that they did it? It doesn't make it. It's not logical, not at all. And I'll leave it at that point at this moment.
Well, we don't have right now. Yeah, Linwood, thank you. Well, we don't have right now the motive they're stating is, from what I'm understanding, is that what I'm understanding. 1 second, Pierce, give me like just 5 seconds, Pierce, and then you will have 3 minutes uninterrupted. Just give me 5 seconds. The motive. So this 22-year-old did not like Charlie Kirk. Therefore, I'm going to go to a university about 3-4 hours away from where I live and commit this heinous crime and know the best building where I can have a clear shot. Ryan, great job yesterday. Ryan did make a point that he did believe, and Ryan, right now, Ryan, you are correct. I mean, you want to know, Ryan, that this was an amateur. From myself, as also an amateur, it just looked so precise, especially from 200 yards away. But it was shoot to kill, and he did get the shot. From what Ryan mentioned yesterday, that the goal, Ryan, please correct me if I'm wrong, the goal is to actually hit the chest. But from what we saw, this went directly to the carotid or the jugular. Okay, I'll go ahead on mute. And Pierce, let's go ahead and give you 3 minutes and Pierce uninterrupted. Linwood, respectfully, and Pierce will be uninterrupted, okay? Thank you.
No, about the shot, it's a horrible shot. He didn't account for the trajectory on the downslope for a downward shot. You have to account for the gravity of the downward shot like that, and he didn't. He was at an angle, like at probably like a downward, or like 120-degree angle, something like that. And he didn't account for that slope. He was aiming for the head, and he hit the throat. Nobody ever aims for the throat. That's the stupidest. Everyone that says like, "Oh yeah, he was aiming," he did this. Like that's no. Yeah, the kid was just a radicalized college student. That's what I'm saying. Like college is genuinely just like they've always been everywhere, a breeding ground for communists. In China, that's where the Red Guard started. In Europe, that's where all the left goes. Here, I mean, if it started at Yale, it started, the Austrian School of Economics and all that kind of stuff. It starts at universities because you have these professors who are just like, like Chomsky or Alinsky or anything like this. And remember, everything you're seeing right now is the left's only rule. It's the first rule of radicals. Accuse your enemy of what you yourself are doing. So now what they're doing is they're just saying, oh no, it's the right that's the violent ones. Look, they're all the right ones. When it's the left knows they're violent. That's why whenever the left says, "Oh, you're racist," it's really they are the racists because they only see everything through race. Everything they do is just a misdirection of what they themselves are doing. That's all they're doing. And this kid is all, like I said, his parents apparently we're saying like, yeah, he was talking a couple days before this at dinner about how he hated all these conservatives, hated Charlie Kirk, spewing hate everywhere, wanted to hurt people, wanted to, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, this kid, like I said, you go to these colleges and they rile you up. Kids at 18, 19, 20 anyways are stupid as shit. They're very, very easily influenced. And they know that. That's like brains are malleable at these ages. And that's what they do. They indoctrinate them to become little Manchurian candidate kind of sleeper cells.
And Pierce, 1 second, thank you. Let's go ahead. Chris Reed, once again, thank you for your support. Mr. Linwood, what did they give the shooter in Arizona that shot the Congress lady and airlifted her to Houston? Linwood or Imperius? Do you happen to remember that? Linwood, do you happen to remember?
What do you mean, what did they give her?
Hold on for a moment. To respond to Imperius, if you look at that area that Mr. Kirk was at, that was like a downward area. It was an amphitheater. So if he was aiming for the head, which you may be correct on that. But some things you say is a little partisan. I've read Noam Chomsky's books. Noam Chomsky ain't no radical. Like, he don't believe in no violence against his political
Saul
foes.
Alinsky. Saul Alinsky's Rule for Radicals. The book.
I mean, yes, I read Saul Alinsky, Rule for Radicals, but I don't think radicalization goes this far in using a military-style sniper rifle to do that type of work from 200 yards. That's 2 football fields.
A Mauser may have been a military-grade rifle, 70 years ago.
I mean, it may be. I mean, like I said, I'm not too familiar with guns because mom's definitely was like, you bring any
You don't
guns
use
in
a
here, you got a problem.
30-06. Like, look at, if you're going to use a sniper, you're using either two things: a 308, or you're going to use like a 300 Win Mag or a Lapua.
I mean,
So no, so look, you no, a
Imperious,
Mauser, you're not using a
it's
hunting
too many
rifle.
questions. Imperious, we disagree, but I'll go on the limb right now and say, brother, this is too. There's too many. It's too many questions. It's way too many questions for the landscape of that university where they were having that rally, 3,000 people, and only he got hit. Now, if this was some radical lefty that you guys call that wanted to shoot him, he would have let off at least one shot and would have been down in seconds.
200 yards is very close, dude.
200 is 2 football fields.
Very close.
But you think, I'm looking at it like, wait a minute, whoa, it's close, but you're thinking,
like I could see like the freckles on your throat, the freckles on your nose with a scope on a rifle from 200 yards.
But then thinking about it, he has security there. And campus has security.
Yeah, but they weren't looking for they had security up around the front. They were thinking people would come with a handgun and shoot. They're not thinking this guy's just a speaker. They're not thinking they're going to get hit by like a political figure on top of a building.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, well, wait a minute, how did he get on the roof? Or these are too many questions I'm asking. Like, there's access to the roof, but most times, from what I've experienced, access to the roof is mostly on the inside, not the out.
Linwood, there's shots taken outside on the roofs all the time. Like that's what happened with Trump.
But in that situation, that was like on some like one of those. Like I live in rural areas, so like one of those sort of odd houses.
Yeah, it was a slanted storage room, a storage house.
But the Secret Service shot him.
Yeah, after like 4 shots, they had to take like 4 shots to hit him because they didn't know he was up there. They weren't even prepared that, and we found out about why. So again, no, dude, this is not that hard. Like if you have a decent scope, a decent rifle, you can hit someone from 200 yards. It's not that hard. It's not hard at all, man.
Brother, I never shot a gun, so I would not know. And I'm just stating on record. I would have not known because
I could get Moxie, that dumbass Moxie, to shoot that 200 yards in something 5 seconds. I mean,
brother, hold on, brother. Let's not do that, please. Let's not do that, please.
Well, no, I'm just saying. Look, I can call her that. Look, she's a dirty Dominican. All right, just remember that. Linwood's finally quiet. Listen, you see this, Ponder? He's finally quiet.
Really? Like Imperious?
Why? I didn't say. No, she's being vicious. She's down there being complacently ignorant. She knows what she's doing. She's saying, "Oh, they didn't have the right security. Both sides are just as violent." How many presidents have been shot by left-wing versus right-wing people?
Imperious. Oswald is a different story. And then
what about Lincoln?
Lincoln, again, I forgot who.
Left-wing.
The person that shot Lincoln, that was up close.
Booth? Booth. When Booth, would you really say that he was left-wing? Like, how are you defining that, especially?
Oh, yeah, he's a Democrat. He was a Dixiecrat.
Okay, but if he was a Dixiecrat back then, would he not have?
He wanted the slaves, just like the Democrats want slaves now. What are you talking about?
That doesn't necessarily mean that he's quote unquote left wing, especially with our current definitions.
Man,
today. Like,
he's anti-federal. No, no. Hold on. He is left wing.
How is he left wing? Booth was left wing. Like, okay,
yes.
How?
Yes. He was anti-federalist.
Around that time, Imperials, the Federalist Party had dissolved.
Especially
because the right is about central authority. It was like that from the beginning. Thomas Jefferson was left wing. He was a fan of the.
He was a Jeffersonian Republican. Okay.
Yeah, that's the left against the Federalists. Yes, the Whigs and the Federalists. Washington, Hamilton, Franklin, all those guys. Adams were on the one side, and it was Jefferson and his people on the other.
Okay, Imperious. if we are in, like, let's say 1789, to be left, basically you're someone who's like anti-monarchy. True conservatism was monarchy. Liberalism, like we keep using,
Yeah,
like
that's what the North was about: central authority, federal authority.
The United States as a whole is a liberal society. It is liberal.
No, it's a conservative society. No, that's why we elect
I'm
the
talking
presidents
about like liberalism, like in the Lockean sense, like
depends, dude. It really depends. You're not seeing because it's not.
We need to. Okay, we'll talk more about this in Paris.
Yeah, it's not necessarily because you have entire religious.
You
have entire religious regions.
Very liberal. Democracy is liberal.
But we're not a democracy. I mean,
we're a democratic republic.
Yeah, but the founders did the most, other than choosing a monarchy, to make it as least democratic as possible.
I understand that, but
we've changed it over time. Okay, we've changed it to be a bastardization. Remember, senators weren't picked by the people, dude.
I understand that, but it's still a liberal government and society as compared to what it was then, which was monarchy. It
wasn't liberal. No, it was liberal, and it was a mix. That was a balance. That was the whole point. That's why they put so much power in Article 2.
Imperious, you're trying to apply the government, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I actually spoke. I was with my political science professor. He brought a guest from the UK who also himself was a political science professor, and he literally would compare like these American political parties, Democrat, Republican. He called it Liberal Party A and Liberal Party B. There really is no difference because the country, the government, the society is liberal. I remember hearing Rush Limbaugh say,
"You're talking about the idea that politics is downstream from culture."
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the foundation is a liberal society.
But if you're talking liberal as in quote big L liberal as in like a voting idea of like innate rights, that's a different idea. No, but
I'm talking about the proper definition of liberalism.
But remember, so does Britain. Hold on. The idea of liberalism doesn't necessarily coincide with the type of governmental structure. You can have a liberal monarchy. Like you're talking about the idea of like
monarchy. Are you referring to
like a constitutional monarchy?
Yeah, but they would never in Paris. They would never ever.
There's a lot of constitutional monarchy.
The British monarchy would never refer to themselves.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the Brit. I'm talking about as an example that you can have a liberal monarchy.
No,
where you have a shrine to rights.
I still wouldn't even.
But there are places like that, like Spain, I think, is a constitutional monarchy.
Yeah, but I still want to reply to it as a liberal monarchy. No, we're going to discuss liberal. Then essentially it's just no monarchy. You could have a.
Doesn't necessarily mean that. It means rights. Certain rights are enshrined.
No,
like it means like you can have
balances to your monarchy, but the monarchy itself is still divine right by God.
No, but again, that doesn't necessarily mean, that it can't be a liberal where the monarchy itself is more liberal in granting rights to the people, in granting property rights, marital rights,
you just said two different things,
social rights, like that. That's a whole different idea.
You just said two different things. First, you said liberal monarchy, and then you said a monarchy that's more liberal. That's the point.
Yes, liberal monarchy. A liberal monarchy is one that grants rights.
Two things like degree and kind. Either the monarchy is in kind liberal, which I don't believe.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt your conversation, but
it's in relation to
embrace more liberal.
It's in relation to the rights established to the people, and the governmental structure around that is different. You can have a liberal monarchy because you can have certain structural innate rights. For example, you can have a constitutional monarchy where the state and the church are constitutionally separated, and that you have the right to a religious worship. Okay, that is completely separate from the government structure of a monarch. You get what I'm saying? Like this is what I mean.
Well, guys, hold on. I know you're a Republican and you hate the liberals. I get that. But what makes you think that a liberal, we may want, Okay.
What is the word? Are you talking liberal as in the political affiliation of American, like voting?
Yeah.
Okay.
In that
Okay, because
context.
we were talking about something different, the political ideology of quote liberalism.
Exactly. That's
So
what
there
I'm
was two different things we were
discussing.
talking
Yeah.
about. So I just want to make sure
I'm
I know what you're
discussing
talking
the
about, Linwood.
actual
That's all.
ideology when we're just in a sense like political philosophy,
Instead of
liberal.
go ahead, Linwood.
We're not talking like affiliation. Hi,
Well, it's
Moxie.
big L, small L. Go ahead.
Yeah, Moxie,
Good
go
morning.
ahead.
Good morning.
Moxie,
Oh,
morning, Moxie.
God.
Moxie, you have 2 minutes. Imperious, she has 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Oh,
Moxie,
God.
talk that talk. Moxie, what say you? No interruptions.
Yes, good morning. I'm calling in because this little do funny, limperious incel has been talking a lot of smack. You wanted my attention, right? So here it is.
Yeah,
What's
wake
with
up
the
and
ad homs?
get your head out of the damn toilet, all right? Wake up.
Listen to me. You seem sexually frustrated, okay? You need to find a man or a woman and get laid because whatever issues you have nothing to do with me. I gave you your props and that you were correct about,
I'm always correct.
it not being a
Just say
great
I'm always
shot.
correct.
You said that he was
Just say I'm always
troon.
correct. Just say I'm always correct. It is a trend.
The problem is you're delusional, bro. And you know what? You should probably argue with somebody that wants to fuck you because I certainly do
Moxie,
not.
no, Moxie, you're old. I don't want no Moxie. Just get Red on the phone. Let him and I talk really quick.
He's actually in the office working, unlike you.
What a
He's a real
loser.
attorney.
What a loser.
You live off the
Wait a
good
minute. Why
graces
is
of
he
your
a loser?
grandma, sweetie.
Why is he a loser?
Yeah, he wants to
What
be.
a
He
loser. It's
lives
a
off the
Friday.
good
What a
graces.
loser.
He lives off the
Brother,
good
nobody
graces
is a
of his
loser for
grandma.
having a 9-to-5 job, brother. Come on.
I didn't
He's
say that.
What are
I
you
said
talking
he's a
about?
loser. He doesn't have a
He's
9-to-5
actually.
job.
He
doesn't have a
yes,
9-to-5
he does.
job.
Or they have
Yes,
a
he
business
works
is a
in
9-to-5, right?
He works in house.
If
Yeah,
you're a
As an
business,
attorney.
shut up, Linwood. You don't know what he is. He's not. He don't work 9-to-5. He can change his skill. He leaves and comes when he goes.
I mean, but
He
that's
does.
but hey, that's
But
pretty
you
good.
know what?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Listen.
Nothing's
My
wrong with that.
husband is what Imperious wishes he was, a practicing
Oh,
attorney with a
please.
big house job that you
Oh,
don't
please.
have.
Oh,
Okay?
please.
I
I
mean, but
do.
wait a minute. But
You're just mad.
this man's an
Okay.
attorney.
See, this
I'm
is
sure why
bullshit.
you think
Wait a minute.
This is bullshit.
man is
You
an
take what I
attorney.
say to you and use it against me.
I mean, mind you,
I'm not sure.
you don't know
He
what this
wants to
man may
be
do.
me. I have the better in-house job.
But wait a minute. Stop right there. You never know if you need this man for anything. I mean, like I said,
Oh, he knows. He's always
I believe
talking
he's
about my husband.
I mean, he's a
always
Republican,
talking
but I mean,
about
like I said,
me.
you may need him. He's a Republican, but you may
Linwood.
need
So
him.
let me ask you this: if me and Moxie's husband go and be friends, and he kicks her to the curb, you can have Moxie, okay?
Hey, hold on, brother. I'm not. That woman's
That's
happy.
never gonna happen.
That man is.
We're going to Vegas.
That man is happy with her.
You're so disingenuous. Like,
And I
why are
mean,
you
that
always
man's not
trying to
going
get
to.
my? Hold on, Linwood, please.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. No worries, and I appreciate your support. The fact that you're arguing and trying to incite, some sort of reaction towards a
I'm the
married
freed
woman
slave
that's
speaking of
allegedly
freedom
old.
to him.
That's
I'm the freed
allegedly
slave.
old. Like, bro, you have fucking issues. Go get your own woman or man.
Are you calling Red a
We're
woman?
not available.
Are you
We're
calling
not
Red a woman?
available.
Did you just call Red a woman?
Well, you're talking to me and you've never even spoken to my husband.
How do you know that?
So
We're already planning our party days. We're getting a boat. We're getting a yacht. We're going down to Miami.
yeah, you wanna troll. You clearly have feelings for me. So carry on. I just want, the
This is
world to know.
disgusting. I can't.
It is. It's so
Plunder, get her out of
obvious.
here. This is disgusting. She's saying that. She makes me sick.
So wait a minute. Hold
Get her
on.
out of here.
So wait a minute. Hold on. So
Moxie,
Get her out of here.
Moxie, are you going?
crystal
Moxie, do you
clear.
have anything to say in regards to what's going on right now with Charlie Kirk?
Yes. So
Charlie Kirk and
before I
Tyler?
go, I just want to say, to be careful because, this isn't a left and right wing thing. Don't fall for the okey doke.
See, there it is. There it is. It's both sides.
You see,
I'm with
he won't
Moxie
let
on
me
this
talk.
one.
He
It's
won't
not
let me talk,
it's not
though.
left and right. Moxie,
But you understand he's not letting me talk, and neither are you. You guys are being liberals right now.
Okay, Moxie, you have 2
You
minutes.
guys are being liberals. You're
Moxie,
not
2
letting me
minutes.
talk.
All right, Moxie, 2 minutes. Just focusing only
I
on
don't
Charlie
even
Kirk
need
and
2 minutes. I don't even need 2 minutes. I
Okay,
just
just
want to
1
say
minute.
this.
Okay.
Please understand, don't fall for the okie doke. Now is the time for everybody to come together. Obviously, they don't want us to come together. Okay? Look at what's happening. People are inciting violence. Young people are shooting others and you know, they're trying to confuse you. Point is, look, there are educated people out there. History is history. With that being said, just know that they want you divided. Okay? People
Thank
like
you so much for your
Imperious.
wisdom, Moxie. Get back to your
People like
Starbucks.
Imperious.
Get back to your
I don't even
Starbucks.
drink, I don't even drink Starbucks, faggot.
Whatever. Go up, whatever, Fifth
You're from
Avenue, and go up
California.
here. Go over
You're
to
from
Saks Fifth Avenue.
California,
All right.
bro.
Moxie, we have to
Go
be
over
really
to
You live off
careful
Saks.
with
the
All
good
right.
language. You know
graces.
they
You
push
live
back
off
at that
the
word.
good graces. You live off the
Moxie,
good
Live off
graces
of
of
my
your
good
grand.
graces. Go up to Saks Fifth Avenue. Get out of here.
Imperious. We have to be
Why
really,
are
really
you not
careful with
muting him?
language.
He's not gonna
We
fuck
have to
you.
be careful, both of you.
He's
We
not
have
gonna
to
fuck
be
you. He wants to
very
eat my
careful
She
with
pussy.
just did
language.
mute me.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Moxie, we have to be very, very careful with language, especially this time of the day. Later on in the evening, we can be a little
You
bit
can
more
tell that to
relaxed.
him when he's calling me a
But use
whore, when he's calling
the
me a
F
dirty
word, F
Dominican.
word. Yeah,
This guy could
please
go
don't
fuck
call her that.
himself.
Imperious, like,
Love you too. Tell
Imperious,
Red. I'll
don't
see
call
him
her that.
later.
Don't call her that. Okay, well, okay, we'll go ahead. Linwood, you want to go ahead and come in with your response
Yeah,
specific to the subject at
I
hand?
don't know where to. Questions point. I don't even know where to start. I mean,
Let's just go ahead and move back. You know, Imperious and Moxie, they just
well,
these two are OGs.
calling
They
her
both
names
know
and
each
stuff like
other.
that.
Both
I've
know each
engaged in
other.
that too in the heat of the battle, heat of the moment, because I'm
Shut
being
up,
attacked
Pillsbury Dough,
personally.
nigga. What are you talking about?
But being
Imperious.
attacked personally, and you feel like if you take the high road and I've tried to take the high road a number of times. Like, you know what?
Imperious, excuse me, Linwood. I'm going to go ahead and give you. I'm going to put everyone in the back. Imperious and Moxie in the back. Imperious, excuse me.
No, you can put Moxie up here. It's not a big issue.
Imperious, respectfully, Imperious, I'm going to keep you just for 3 minutes, Imperious. Or you can please let Linwood speak uninterrupted for 3 minutes. One mic. Let's be mindful and respectful. This is the panel.
We try.
Okay, and go ahead, Linwood. What say you in regards to Tyler Robinson and Charlie Kirk?
It doesn't sound logical, and I think this is just like doo-doo that they're throwing to the wall just to please the public, because they've already shaped the narrative that it's the left that did it. These so-called lefties, whatever that means, they're the ones who did it because you saw a handful of people. And mind you, some of the right wing, well, some of the white conservative outlets I've been watching, they're the same. It's the same people that they keep showing that are celebrating it. It's like on repeat over and over and over again. And like, I saw that guy yesterday. I saw that guy today. They're trying to shape because they shaped the narrative that the leftists did this, and really what's sad about this in the two-party duopoly. And I will say what it is because this is how I see it. The white conservatives in this country are going to capitalize off this death. They're going to try to fundraise off of it. They're going to try to mobilize their base. Hey, vote for us because they're laughing at our death, the death of our champion. But they didn't have that same empathy for the two Democratic lawmakers, the two liberal lawmakers in Minnesota that were shot and killed. I mean, we had the president get up and said, I'm not going to call Governor Tim Walz because he's a dirtbag. This is the leader of the free world saying this about the opposition party's governor. And when as far as black people are concerned about this, some of us are cheering because why? We were the targets of right-wing of white conservative violence. The Top supermarket was a great reminder of that in Buffalo, New York.
Linwood, if all the candy was on the top floor of the supermarket, would you get it? Or
that shooter said that that shooter drove 200 miles into the city of Buffalo to commit that murder. And he said he was influenced by Tucker Carlson talking about the great replacement theory or the white replacement theory. He was influenced by these people. The shooter that down in Texas, and some of the non-white people said it was one of our own people that did this. And he said, and when I think he said he was influenced by Candace Owens, Pearl Davis, and Nick Fuentes. And he himself was a so-called Latino, and I say that in quotes, air quotes. And
you saying there's no Latinos, Linwood?
I say that in quotes because it's a made-up term.
That's true. You are right.
To each its own. VGQ on that one. But I can see why people that are marginalized in society are celebrating, because Charlie Kirk, being from the powerful class, which is mostly all white people and white supremacists, they felt he was punching down on them. And they had no power to punch back. And they felt like the white conservatives have used the power of the institutions in the United States to punch at them.
That's BS.
I'm just saying in general.
Linwood,
yeah, but that's
15 more
BS.
seconds, and can you land? 15 more seconds, land, so we can
And
introduce.
so those people felt that way. They felt that way, but they didn't want to kill him. They just like, hey, look, we want to censor him. We don't want to kill him. We just want to censor him.
Linwood, censoring eventually leads to killing people. Like when you start censoring, you eventually, because the more you push,
not necessarily.
Linwood, just like you say, and all your books tell you, the more that people are pushed down and are not allowed to speak
or feel pushed down. I mean, Charlie Kirk.
Okay.
Kirk is still
and
speaking.
So that means
no white person
Linwood,
that has the liberty to speak, because mind you, white people
no
control
white
all
person
the
has the liberty to speak. Linwood,
I'm just
like
saying.
Everybody, Imperious, respectfully, Imperious, Linwood, we may go ahead and let Afrodamus join in. Afrodamus, thank you.
Well, actually, Moxie was going to speak, right? Moxie was going to speak.
Oh, he's all over that white girl right now. He's all over Moxie.
Afrodamus, go ahead, please join the panel. Thank you.
Moxie, tell him.
Can you hear me?
Linwood, tell him, say, go tell me more, Moxie. Tell me more.
I mean, well, Moxie was going to respond, so it's like, okay.
We'll go ahead. Let Afrodamus, he just joined the panel. Thank you, fellow content creator. Afrodamus.
All right. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for joining. Afrodamus, you will have uninterrupted 3 minutes. Uninterrupted, please. What say you, sir, in regards to Charlie Kirk and Tyler Robinson? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, seeing what happened to Charlie Kirk was, despicable, disgusting, and heartbreaking, because we live in a country that is built on the principles of freedom of speech. A man, his only crime was to invite people to have a debate, change my mind. But because there's so many hateful demons that we have in this country, we see people who, because these are evil people, but they associate themselves. They make things about they are part of a group, but these are individually hateful people. Like they would say, we are black. I've seen some of these blacks, like Amanda Seals, Tariq Nasheed, the guy that was just talking, so it's official. Majority of blacks in this country are beyond reproach. Like they are too far gone. Like they are spiritually evil. The only way they can, they can be
but not all black people celebrate that death, brother.
Sir, I'm not talking. Let me finish talking. I say you heard me say.
Not all black people celebrate that death, brother.
Who said all here?
I'm talking about you, Linwood. You did yesterday on air with me.
Who said all? Who said all? I never said all.
You said the majority of blacks.
Majority, yes. The majority.
But the majority of blacks ain't on social media.
Because here's the thing.
The majority of blacks ain't on social media. You take that back.
So you guys know this.
This guy are not celebrating this man's death.
This guy is evil. He
now
cannot
you got
help
Tariq
himself.
Nasheed out there talking noise, but talk about Tariq Nasheed doing that. Black people not on that bullshit.
This has nothing to do with black people.
So just like if you guys remember, Kyle Rittenhouse.
Afrodamus, we have 1 minute left. I'm just going to ask everyone to please be respectful. Let Afrodamus complete his thoughts. Go ahead, Afrodamus.
So if you look at it, Kyle Rittenhouse when he went to the Kenosha riot, right? He shot two, white pedophiles that were chasing after him. You clearly can see it. But the black people, they took that, they added themselves into it. These people are so evil to a point they are looking and fishing to join, into anything that's evil. Look at here's how birds of the same feather. The group of people that come together to celebrate such things is, people who call themselves black. They try to associate it to every black person. You have the trans, the pedophiles, the deranged. So if you look at it, this Charlie's death, it's like it has drawn a line, a demarcation line. I think this is the turning point. You can see who the freaks are, the evil spirited people. You can clearly see them on one side. These are the people that support criminals. These people, they promote, it's like right versus wrong. So they are on the wrong side. These people are straight up evil. They celebrated, some of them even celebrated that, when the innocent woman, Ukrainian woman, got killed in the train by a black person who said, I got that white girl. So you have the media rhetoric, you have, these blacks who just hate white people straight, they coming out saying this. So
But
now,
sir, you're taking
what I'm saying is, here's what's about to happen in this turning point. I believe that
you're the reason
things
why
are
the
going to
political violence in
change.
this country, because the crap that you're saying.
I believe that
The things you're saying is the reason why we have political violence in this country.
If we may go ahead and have
See,
Moxie
Linwood's doing the
respond.
very thing he's doing. Rule number one, he's telling Afrodamus he's the reason
Because
in the
he's
violence, when
using
it's
language.
Linwood yesterday saying he was glad Charlie Kirk was dead.
Moxie, if you may respond, if you're here, Moxie. Okay, Moxie's not here right now. She just stepped away. No problem.
Yeah, Moxie. Is that the Dominican lady?
But question, Ponder.
Let me finish.
Linwood, please let Moxie respond first, please, and then you can.
Moxie back? I'll shut up.
Can I just land my plane, please?
Yes, go ahead, land your plane.
So here's what's about to happen. Literally, these people are fed up. Since these evil people, they like to be loud and be known by everybody. When retribution comes to these people, we don't want to hear you crying. You've drawn the line. These people have come out and made it known that they are engaged in a civil war against a particular race. So we will all step behind and watch you go against the people that you tout every day that you
wait a
hate.
minute, children getting hurt, that's retribution?
Come on. Look, let me finish. Since you have this type of rhetoric, hold on. Well, the rhetoric is about to stop.
You're the reason why Charlie Kirk got shot. You're the reason why the bullet went through his throat. You're the reason why
it's rule one.
Can we go ahead and have
Rule Ponder, hold on. It's rule one. He just demonstrated it. He's accusing Afrodamus of being the one violent and causing Charlie Kirk's death when it's Linwood that was yesterday saying Charlie Kirk would deserve to die. I'm glad he's dead. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying, Ponder?
In a mall, shot.
You see what I'm saying,
Do you see what I'm saying?
That's the reason why the rhetoric in top supermarket occurred.
Everyone, gentlemen, let's have Moxie respond. Moxie, what say you? 2 minutes.
But do you see what I'm saying though, where this divides people and how angry these people get? And Alfredamus, for the 50th time, I'm American. My passport says I was born here. I'm not an anchor baby. My grandpa came to the United States in 1960. Your African ass did not. So I am an American.
Yeah, sure.
Call her a dirty Puerto Rican.
So here's the thing, man.
And
You know, if you feel
I want to
if
say
you
this,
feel
please,
insecure
because you
about
sit there and
that,
you say this
your
bullshit,
grandpa,
but
your
not
grandpa
all
came
black
here in
people on social
1960.
I
media
don't feel
sites
insecure.
laughing about
I'm
this.
laughing
Look,
because you guys are just falling for the okey doke and arguing about shit that you can't control.
But
I'm
Moxie,
actually a
The okey
moderate.
doke is what he just said.
He's an.
He's equating that all black people were laughing and on social media sites celebrating this.
I don't think this has anything to do
But
with
he
black
brought up
people
black people. Why don't you
because
talk about
that's
the
his shit. That's
HBCUs that are
all he
under
does.
lockdown right
That's
now?
all he
Hold on,
does.
Moxie. Talk about the HBCUs right now that are on lockdown for something that they haven't been do.
that's a hoax. That's a
That's
hoax.
not a fucking hoax,
It's on the
you
news. They already.
jackass.
That's a hoax.
That's not a
Look,
hoax, you
Here's the
jackass.
thing. Here's the thing. You
It's been in the
people.
news,
Hold on.
sir.
You
It's
people.
on the news.
Hold on.
What are you talking about?
Let me finish.
You're the reason why Charlie Kirk got shot yesterday.
What about the
You're the reason
black
why.
guy who was arrested for going into the old couple's house, torturing them, and then burning them alive? What about that just happened yesterday, Linwood?
And what about the two children that got killed in
He
Colorado?
was just all he did was walk up to a random house and ring the doorbell.
Because of what
They
this
opened
asshole
it. He
is
just
getting
went
on
in there and burned them
getting on
alive.
social media
Linwood.
sites saying he might as well have put that bullet in Charlie Kirk and those white kids himself with that rhetoric.
Linwood, all people are crazy. That's what I'm trying to say, Linwood. I could name just one for one. You're talking about you are the one.
So we're gonna go about the whataboutism. Let's go about the whataboutism because, sir, your side
That's
of the
what
political
you're
aisle,
doing, Linwood.
your
You're
side of the political aisle got more blood
Linwood,
on
you're
his
telling
hands than
Afrodamus that
mine,
him
sir.
saying that Linwood, you're telling
Has more
Afrodamus
blood on his hands than I do. He is a murderer.
that's
he is
you
a criminal.
directing again. That's rule number one again, Linwood.
He's
Everything
a
you're
criminal.
saying is rule number one.
And guess what?
Accuse your enemy of what you yourself are doing.
He's the reason. You and him are the reason why 10 black
So that's
people
why you're
lost
screaming
their
that
lives
at me because
at the
you know
top
you're actually the
supermarket.
one that caused
You're
that.
the
Linwood.
reason why those people in Texas lost
That's
their
why
lives at a mall.
That's why you're so first to
they
do that.
should so sue your asses. And by the way, they should
that's
sue
why
you
you're
for
so
wrongful death.
vehemently against that because you're actually doing it. That's why you're so vehemently
I've never pulled a fucking
us.
trigger.
You know your side.
I
is
never
doing that.
pulled a fucking trigger.
Linwood, you said
shot a
yesterday
MAGA
you would have.
supporter.
Linwood, you said you would have
MAGA
yesterday.
supporter.
Linwood, you said yesterday you would have.
If I was a crazy psychopathic motherfucker, yes.
You are. That's the point.
Not.
You are, Linwood. You
But I'm
are.
not.
That's the point. You are. You are, Linwood. That's the point. You are. That's why I'm trying to make it aware to you that.
And you know what? And let me land the plane here. This so-called thoughts and prayers. Let's keep it real. What Afrodamus said, I'll agree. I'll give him this. He is right. The turning point is shifted, and the turning point is this: you can no longer have empathy for conservatives or liberals. It's a war. And bottom line is, and I'll agree with Moxie. I'll put it on the table.
Okay.
Yes,
Linwood,
everybody. Excuse me. Everybody's falling for the okie doke. She's correct. But let's also be honest here too. The people who are benefiting from us going at each other, they're smiling right now. They're smiling.
That's you, Linwood.
No, I'm not smiling
You're
at all.
those people. You
just
said you wanted a war.
I'm not smiling.
No, that's the elites.
No, that's Linwood. He's the idiot, useful pawn.
You are trying to divide people even more. You're smarter
No,
than
Moxie.
this.
Again, here's your pathological.
Well, then you're an evil. No, stop.
I may be evil.
Your psychosis. So
I may be evil. I may be evil, Moxie, but I'm open about it. I'm not conniving like that.
I mean, mind you, Charlie Kirk said that he does not like empathy. So let's keep it real. When you get to that point, well, he said empathy. I don't like the word empathy. It's kind of a new age thing.
Linwood, aren't you guys all about empathy? People should empathize with trans and stuff.
Referring to,
but he says always that people should empathize with people. That the left is all empathize with the trans kids and all empathize with this. And when in reality, they don't give a shit. They're virtue signaling to the stupidest and weakest and most mentally deranged people so that they can get on top of that group of people and direct them to do what they want. That's all communism and leftism is.
The liberals have gone way too radicalized. I have no interest in them. I think that the only way they stand a chance.
Why have they went radical?
Please let me hold on.
Why have they went radical, Moxie? Why have they gone radical?
May I please finish my thought? The only way that the liberals have a chance and they stand a chance here in the United States is if they get somebody that's more centrist. They have gone way too far gone with these purple-haired liberals, with these troons taking away my rights as a woman, because that's what it is.
But
Okay.
Moxie, let's keep it honest
Did you
here.
see Auntie Grace or whatever, or what was her name? Nancy Mace or whatever. She was all
Moxie,
saying it was a troon. It was a troon. I'm doubling down on all this troon talk. That's what she said.
But Moxie, as a person who's voted Democrat and been involved in the Democratic Party, there is a divide between the Andrew Cuomo and the Zoran Madani. There is a divide. And the Zoran Madani side is saying, you know, we can't win elections just by being milquetoast and like rapist Andrew Cuomo. We can't be that.
Listen, I'm not endorsing either of them. I think that the only leaders that work as the governor and also the mayor, New York and New York City, are conservative, because we need somebody that's fiscally conservative in this city.
Curtis Lee was not going to win. Gorgeous, you know Curtis Lee was not going to win that. You know, Gorgeous.
Well, we don't know.
How many times Curtis Lee was running? He been running 9 or 10 times.
I understand. It's very unfortunate what's happening. I really hope that Mamdani does not win, because if he does, the whole country is in trouble.
But once again, though, it's okay for radical Republicans to win, but a radical Democrat to win. Oh,
no, I don't want radical Republicans either. When I voted for Zeldin, he was not a radical Republican at all. I think he was a much better fit for this city, or this state rather, than Kathy Hochul. Okay, she's very corrupt. And
I mean, you're saying that because you're a Republican. You and your husband are Republicans. I expect that. I expect that.
No.
I expect that. I expect that.
That's where you're stupid, Linwood. She's a 90s Democrat, you idiot.
Exactly.
She's a 90s Democrat. She's a Clinton Democrat, you moron.
One mic, please.
I'm a moderate.
She's a Clinton Democrat, you idiot.
Exactly.
$2 super chat. Chris Reed, what did they give the shooter in Arizona? We'll find out. Not sure.
You talking about Jared Loeffler? Jared Loeffler, they gave him life. He got life.
Because she didn't die. She didn't die. That's why.
But once again, and I speak of this as a person who's involved in the Democratic Party and was. The progressives are saying, hey, we need to go far because, hey, look what Donald Trump did. He went far. We're not going to win by being milquetoast. We got to go, far in. We got to go about Medicaid for all. We got to go with, school things and, tackling these issues and blah, 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 taxing the rich, blah, 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 blah. We got to go far. We can't be milquetoast.
But you understand that's the whole thing. You've already taxed the rich past the Laffer curve.
And bottom line is,
any more you tax is actually going to bring less revenue to us.
So they're like, well, listen, we got to go far, and if we don't go far, the Republicans will run the country.
How are you going to go far when you're already taxed to the most extreme amount possible for the only positive revenue? Because everything after this now, the more you tax people more than they are right now, you're actually going to be losing money.
I said the rich. I didn't say anything about working people.
No, I said the rich. I'm talking about the rich. You can only tax the rich so much until they stop investing, which kills the rest of the economy.
So that's what they're going at.
No, what happens when the rich
my
stop
view is,
investing in the
and
economy?
to go back to what Moxie said,
what happens when there's no
liberals,
investment?
So why are they becoming radicals? If once again, black life in this country should not be determined by white views. Let's just break that very clear.
Linwood,
as black people who have been attacked by white conservatism, y'all have no right to talk how we're going to mourn this. We can actually say, yes, the bastard deserved to die.
See, there you go. Linwood in 5 minutes.
Wait a minute.
He has 5 minutes. He reversed it. He said, I don't believe that, and now he is.
Hold on.
5 minutes.
Why are you getting involved? Why? It wasn't even a black person that did it.
And we would be justified.
Why are you bringing that smoke?
We would be justified in doing, Moxie, we'll be justified in doing that because we are the victims of violence. We're victimized by white violence. You're in New York State.
What is the number of black on white violence?
Moxie, hold on. You're in New York State.
No, I'm in New York City.
Okay, yes. You're New York City, New York State. Okay, so you know about Yusef Hawkins.
I know. I live around a lot of black people.
Okay, well, stop. You heard or knew about what happened to Yusef Hawkins in the 1990s. Remember that name. That
She
name
doesn't.
ain't coming back here.
She doesn't know that name, dude. Nobody does.
Okay. If she don't, wake up, because it was in the news every day. Okay. When Mario Cuomo was the governor. Al Sharpton out there with his shenanigans. Some of them I
Lynn
don't
was
agree
about to go
with.
crazy over a
Dude, he
name nobody
died
even
in
knows the shit out of.
1989. He
Tawana
died in
Brawley?
1989.
Tawana
Please,
Brawley?
okay?
The killing in in Howard Beach. The killing in in the Bronx. So, so then the thing happened with Mayor David Dinkins when Rudy Giuliani damn near started a January 6th at that time, starting a damn race riot up there.
Dude, Dinkins was terrible.
But he got caught, and mind you, I saw the
No,
news
he
coverage.
was terrible.
I
He
saw
was
the news coverage.
terrible.
I saw the news coverage, whether Dinkins was terrible or not.
Dude, you were a child. We're
Linwood,
friends
I'm
the same
older than
age,
you. I don't
Linwood.
remember that shit. Linwood, I'm
and
older than you.
Linwood is
those
42.
white folks
We're
from over
about the
there
same age.
in
Linwood,
Bensonhurst
stop.
starting a goddamn riot, literally a riot, Moxie. You're justifying that. How the fuck can you be a moderate?
Because you're justifying a man that just got shot through the neck.
I'm not justifying any violence
Or Mayor
whatsoever.
David Dinkins being threatened.
Notice how he just moved right past that. Do you hear that, Moxie? He just moved right past that.
Yeah, like
He just moved right past that.
But
So
this is why I'm trying to
So if we start,
calm everybody down,
killing
'cause
Puerto
that's what
Ricans,
happens.
we start killing Dominicans and hanging them from nooses, or you get killed in
See,
Bensonhurst.
now he's talking about hanging you, Moxie. Now he's talking about hanging Dominicans.
Then you get, or you
I don't
getting
care,
killed in
bro.
Bensonhurst. How many Puerto Ricans or Dominicans can go through Bensonhurst and walk out alive? At
See,
that
there
time.
you go, Moxie. Now
At
he's
that
out.
time. At that time. At that time.
I've gone to, dude, I've been everywhere, and like my father actually owned businesses in the hood, so
Is
I
he a
grew up in
white
a
person or
very
a
nice
non-white person?
neighborhood.
Is he
and
a
I
white
also-
You've
person
got
or a
brothers
non-white
that'll cut
person?
you, give you a Colombian necktie, Linwood.
Wait a minute.
Relax.
Is your daddy a white person or a
Listen,
non-white person?
I don't. You know what? I think
Answer
that
my
this
question.
conversation.
Answer
no,
my
I'm
question.
not.
He wants more.
No.
Answer my question. Answer my
No.
question. Cut the bullshit
No.
here. Was your daddy a
No.
white person or a non-white person?
No, because this has nothing to do with the topic.
I don't give
and
a
it's
fuck
going
about
left.
that. It's our lives, Moxie. You can walk around free. You're a white person.
Sweetie, you don't even
Black
live
people
around
don't have
black
that luxury.
people. You don't even live around black people. Shut the fuck up. I live around more
Linwood, go
black
down
people
and
than
clean
you
aisle
do.
I asked
3,
a
all right?
question.
Go clean
I'm
up
asking you
aisle
a
3,
question. I'm
Linwood.
asking you a question. As a white
Bro,
person,
meet me in New
how
York
many
City.
Puerto Ricans? Wait a minute.
Meet
Hold
me
on,
in New
Moxie.
York City,
Hold
and
on,
I'll bring you
Moxie.
around
Hold
black
on, Moxie.
people.
Hold on,
Okay?
Moxie.
Let me know when you're on your way.
Wait, hold on. How many Dominicans could go through Bensonhurst at that time and walk out alive?
Plenty.
Plenty. Were they white people or non-white people?
I don't think it matters. I think it has to do with street smarts and the way,
Wait, whoa. Don't give me that bullshit. Cut that bullshit. Cut the bullshit. If a Dominican
Why
had
are you
dark,
upset
wait a minute, hold
with
on,
me
excuse me.
now?
If a Dominican around that time when Yusef Hawkins got murdered could it have dark brown or light brown? Wait a minute, hold on, Moxie, hold on. Can go through Bensonhurst. They had dark brown skin, or had dark or brown or cinnamon brown skin. Would they have walked out alive?
Linwood, you're walking out alive right now and you're crashing out for things you weren't even living around.
No,
you're basically
I was a
taking
kid.
other
I
people's
was a kid.
problems and putting them on
I
your
was a kid.
shoulders.
That's not somebody's problem, Moxie. That was national news.
Yeah, 35
That was on
years
Phil
ago.
Donahue show.
35 years ago.
But that's what I'm asking.
This
35
is why
years.
I don't like the radical right or
This
the
is why
radical
Moxie
left.
sides with me in the end.
And if you don't have
Moxie
a
will
side,
always
baby,
side with me in the end because of you,
and
Linwood.
if you don't have a side, baby, you're a part of the problem.
There you go, Moxie. You got to have a side,
This is
baby.
the white
now.
moderate. This is the white moderate they were talking about.
I
This is
choose
the
a
white
side in
choose the
voting booth.
Republicans. Go with them white folks. We don't care about you. Go with them white folks because you're a part of the fucking problem. You and your husband are a part of the fucking problem.
You don't
as much
know
as I
us,
defend you,
but keep
as much
crashing
as I
out.
defend, because bottom line is, your husband would never be a lawyer if he wasn't a white person.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes, I'm not kidding.
There are plenty of black attorneys.
Yeah, they
My
are,
boss is
but they would
one.
never
My
get
boss is one.
the status as your husband if they weren't white. You wouldn't even marry your husband if he wasn't white, or if your mommy didn't tell you you got to better the race, darling.
No, that's not true.
She married him because he has red hair, all right?
Yeah, it
She
is.
loves his red hair. Relax.
How many of
He
those
does not
conversations?
have red hair.
How many of those conversations have you heard, Moxie? Come on, cut the bullshit here.
I'm going to tell you something, Frank. I'm going to tell you something,
Those conversations have been rampant in the so-called Latino or Hispanic community. Those are rampant, sir. Unless you're some sort of Catano unicorn.
Excuse me, ma'am. You want to call me a sir? You're acting like a straight bitch, ma'am. Let me tell you something. I dated 2 black guys in my life.
But you never married them and you never produced children with them.
Because they were cheating motherfuckers. They were cheating sacks of shit, okay?
But let's say they weren't.
And why don't you talk about the black community and how many people actually get married?
But let's say they weren't.
They were, and it didn't work out.
But let's say they weren't. Let's say they weren't cheating motherfuckers.
But they were.
Let's say they weren't. Let's say they weren't.
Why are you talking about things that didn't happen? I'm telling you things that I experienced. You asked me why I didn't marry them. It didn't even last as long. I kicked them to the curb.
Moxie, I'm just asking a question.
And I'm answering you.
But you're answering me condescending. I need truth.
No,
I don't need condescending remarks.
You're actually being condescending with me.
I'm not being condescending. I'm being factual. Because in reality, Moxie, we all know this,
you're making
Moxie.
an assumption.
Hell, many Dominican...
Wait,
hold on. Immortal Technique, was he making assumptions? Immortal Technique, who was Peruvian, has talked about this in the so-called Latino community a number of times. So
why don't you talk about the black community and how you guys are colorist?
I'm not getting this
Why don't
from...
you talk about how you guys are colorist?
I'm not getting this from...
What about Tariq Nasheed and his wife that's half white?
I'm getting this from Peruvians, Dominicans who talk about this.
You need to talk about the black community and why they're so colorist as well, okay? It's not a Dominican
black
problem.
People have no power in that department. Or let's talk. Or wait a minute. So is Ada Rodriguez telling lies when she says about her Cuban daddy being anti-black?
You see, what does this have to do with Hispanics or blacks? That's the thing. It has nothing to do with us.
Actually,
look at the guy, Tyler Robinson. Look at him. Okay,
he's a white person. He's a white person.
This is why I don't like to go too far or too right, because
well, baby, you already voted against black life anyway, so you already
right wing. He won't accept you, Moxie. He'll never accept you. It's only to the right.
I don't need acceptance. I don't need acceptance from anybody, bro.
But once you need to choose a side, Moxie.
But yeah,
when I get to the voting booth, I always
you better.
Okay?
Let's put it like this. This ain't a threat. You better choose a side. You better.
I do all the time.
And choose the white side. Go choose the white side.
I'm not choosing either of you.
Choose the white side.
Moxie, say Imperious 28. Imperious 28.
You guys are actually the same. The same fucking thing. Just
man, my name is not Pillsbury Dough Nigga.
I'm gonna calm down.
My name is not Pillsbury Dough Nigga. All right.
Both of you are
I'm gonna calm down a little bit. I'm gonna calm down a little bit. I'm gonna talk in my white moderate voice. Moxie, if the Republicans are good enough and the Democrats are not, what makes you think the Republicans are going to be any better than the Democrats on the fiscal issues?
Are you kidding me?
That's not a kid.
No, then you don't know. Then you don't know economics, and you don't understand finance, and you don't understand monetary policy.
I understand that. I understand.
I don't need to have this conversation.
I understand completely.
So then, why are you asking such a stupid question?
But last time I checked, didn't your president ramp up the deficit to $8 million?
You know that he's your president too,
$8 trillion.
Right? Is he not your president? Is he not your president?
That crack ain't my motherfucking president.
Okay, well then get the fuck out.
Was Biden the cracker your president?
Joe Biden, I put it like this. Any white person, and I'll say this from the late RBR network, I'll take a cue from his playbook.
Yeah, man, who gives a shit about something? RBR network, that's like me pulling something out of my ass and said, I went down on 5th Street and just saw a store. What the fuck are you
I'll
quoting?
say like this. If anybody been under that black genius.
I just saw the Salvation Army. Quote them, Linwood.
That any white person that has learned governance from that black genius is my president. That's what I'm gonna put on the table.
Wasn't Obama half white?
Who gives a fuck? He's
Well, you have
non-white.
to because that
He's
means he's not really
non-white.
you, Linwood.
You know that
Non-white.
Obama is the. You know that Obama is who basically sold out our pharmaceuticals to China, right?
Hey, that's the name of the game in two-party duopoly, baby.
So it's okay when they do
Hey,
it, right?
hey, look,
see what happens when you have pathological altruism,
it's okay
Moxie?
when Donald Trump runs
You're
a
caring about somebody who literally just says against blacks, and it's okay.
Wait a minute, hold on. It's okay.
Bro,
It's okay.
we're having
Hold
a
on.
conversation. I'm
It's
not some
okay.
weak bitch. I can handle it.
Okay. It's okay.
I know what I'm doing.
It's okay when Republicans run up a deficit and y'all motherfuckers don't say shit. But the Democrats spend money, you got your fucking mouth wide open. So I don't want to hear shit in this two-party duopoly. So guess what?
Can I speak now?
Let it go on. Let Charlie Kirk get killed again.
Because
you
speak now?
motherfuckers are never going to be empathetic to anybody until it happens to you. Like it just
Until it
did.
happens to you,
All right.
sweetie.
Can
I'm
I
ready
speak?
to die for this shit, honey. What about you? I'll
You're
take a bullet
crashing
for this
out
shit.
and you need to take your
I'll
meds.
take a
Calm
bullet
down.
for this shit, mama. I ain't got nothing to lose.
Okay.
I'm a
You do
black
that.
man. I got nothing to
You do
fucking
that.
lose. I have
You
no
do
power in
that.
this country.
Let me know what it's
Dr.
like when
King
you
had
move
no
around black
power.
people.
You
Let
dig
me
what
know
I'm
what
saying?
it's like when you move
Dr.
around
King had
black
no
people,
power.
okay?
Al Sharpton got stabbed in
You're
the
a
chest,
fraud.
nigga.
You're
Al
a
Sharpton got stabbed
fraud.
in
You
the
don't
chest,
live
nigga.
around black people, and you're
Al
taking
Sharpton
the
got stabbed in
fun.
it. Talk
Meet
about
me
Al
in New
Sharpton
York
getting stabbed in
City.
the
I'll
chest,
show
nigga.
you some black
We got
people, okay?
stabbed, nigga. We got stabbed in the chest.
Okay.
Dude,
You're trying
Linwood,
to.
how many
We got
times have you been
scars to
stabbed
prove
in
it.
the ass by your
Linwood,
boyfriend,
We got the
Linwood?
scars to prove it, baby.
You
We got the
sound like
scars
a
to prove
poser,
it.
Linwood. Stop. You're playing yourself.
Yeah, I'm playing. I'm sorry.
All right. Can I speak now, John?
Thank you, Linwood. At least you laughed at yourself a little bit.
I mean, I got a little comic relief. I got a little.
Okay, Linwood. No, I give you credit. That was funny. Go ahead.
Guys, in this conversation, clearly you can hear it. This is a political ideology. If you look at it, the people, starting from Obama's time, right? Obama, he brought this coalition together, meaning the freaks, the weirdos, so one section, their first, weapon of mass destruction is blacks. Blacks in America, majority have been created. They are the weapons of mass destruction. If you notice anything that happens, they will burn down neighborhoods, because they are very angry. So this outside influence that want to destroy America.
Dr. King once said
Let
also,
me finish. Let me.
is the response to the unheard.
Can you finish? Can you let me finish?
Wait a minute, hold on.
please?
But Dr. King also said
Do you
that
guys see?
riots are the voice of the unheard.
Let me finish. So if you notice,
so is that true? Is that
the
true,
whole
sir?
thing, the whole
is that
thing,
true, sir?
The whole
is
system.
Are riots of the voice of the unheard?
Guys, John,
Answer
if I
that for
can
me.
speak, I would just
Hold on,
leave.
hold on.
You gotta moderate.
The voice of the unheard.
Let him speak.
Linwood,
If I can speak, I'll just leave if I can talk. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Tell us, pussy.
Yeah. So this guy, if you look at it, this is the whole base of it. Like they would, because they know majority of the blacks, they lack common sense, they lack shame. They would interrupt their whole game. This is what it is, to attack, and then you have.
Let's put a bullet in your head,
if
sir.
If you notice, they in 2020,
Jesus, Linwood.
around 2020, they released ton of people from prisons. They started doing the no cash bail. If you look at like Chicago and many places, even the state where I live in, you guys don't even see what is happening. This is a communist takeover that have failed. This is how they take places. Even in African countries, when they do coups, they go and open the person doing it. If they want the chaos to happen, if they're not succeeding, they open the jails, the prison. That's the first places they go to. Insane asylums, and put guns in people's hands. Here in America, they couldn't do that because the citizens here have guns. If you notice, that's why they want to go after the guns, to take it from the people. You can't take America by force. But what they do is they empowered America's retards, the angry people, the insane, So it just so happened majority of the blacks are a weapon of mass destruction. So this wave that is coming, the destruction, I'm just letting you know, Linwood, you and your types, you are about to be stopped. I don't think you would like the way you are going to be stopped, but America have had enough. You better go listen to what Trump said. You guys are about to be stopped. You've crossed the line. You got, stupid Negroes in Chicago threatening the federal government. People like you are here celebrating, people getting shot because the only thing they did was they wanted to debate. They just wanted to debate. This is an American thing, freedom of speech. You don't have to like what they say, but you don't have the right to take anyone's life. So this type of rhetoric, I'm just telling you right now, they've marked all of you. They know this was a failed communist revolution. That's what it is. Right now, they are in their last leg. Even go listen to what Obama said. Obama is part of all this. So your coalition is the retards, the trans. If you look at it, all the undesirables, are in the same group with the blacks. So this has nothing, because they understand that some of you, the only thing you can think of is race. And then you have the trans area there. All they can think about is sexuality. Then you have the other ones that say they have mental illness. That's all they talk about, So you are being used. You are useful idiots. But because of the way your brains are wired, it's too late. They have to eliminate you. They have to return you back to the, insane asylums. They have to return you back to the prisons they got you from. I'm the one saying this here, and you will see. Guys, mark this on the calendar and say, Afridamus said this here. We would come back and you would see exactly what I said. You will see it happening within a year.
Look,
I think you're
What do
right
you think
about
the
that.
illegal
I think that was
immigration
well
is?
said,
Well, the
Africanus.
illegal immigration is replacing people. It's just bringing in a more compliant population, because Latinos, they don't revolt against their governments like that.
No,
They don't
I don't
put them
think
in
that this is just a
They
black
are
issue,
removing
though.
them. It's not a black issue. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The
Radical
black,
left.
radical left.
Radical
But
right. Radical right.
because the thing is, the way they project it, you have to remember how these Bolsheviks, they work. If you're an insane person, the only you're gonna think people are against you because of you're insane. So these black people who are super black, in fact, there is a law they about to enact this. They wrote this in 2019. The black identity extremists. Go look this up. Go look up the law. But they did not, because Joe Biden, I'll tell you guys right now, the proof. The way things worked out in 2020, he did not win the election. He did not win it. That's why they put up the fences. Because here in America, they don't pay attention to how revolutions happen in other countries. They just think, imagine you have to control the media, and the people that took over control the media in every country. That's how it happens. So go on the media. If a white person commits a crime, they would tell you his identity and everything. If that white person is trans, they would hide the identity. If it's a black person, for sure, they would hide the identity. This is how you know those are their foot soldiers, the idiots they are using. For the death of that white woman, a BLM woman wrote on Twitter that black people have the right. They have the right to commit violence. Imagine, so that person, just because they are black, even though this is not the sentiment of all black people, they appointed her. They appointed the group BLM, which is more about gays and trans. They are speaking in the voice of black. So this Linwood, someone like Linwood who's unstable, will read that and associate it as, they are speaking about him because he's black. So the unstable blacks would associate themselves to BLM when they don't even understand they are being used as the foot soldiers. The people who are doing this at the top, they want to destabilize the place. They don't care about you people. You think those people care about the trans? They care about blacks? No, they don't care about you. All they want is to create chaos. Look at Chicago's mayor and the governor.
And to enrich themselves as well.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
in theory, right? Socialism and communism sounds great in theory. Unfortunately, it never works. History has shown us time and time again. They want to enrich themselves and make us poor. So be careful. And Afrodamas, you're absolutely right in that it is a lot of LGBTQ, and they are, and then they are tricking black people and inciting all of that anger.
Exactly. They are using these black people's anger to their advantage. But they know when the destruction comes, it's gonna come upon you. Because these people are really devilish. In order to be able to hurt someone, right, without feeling guilty, this is how these people think. They are convincing themselves that it's your fault for being dumb and believing in what they say. Like if you look at Zora Mamdani, he is truly like a communist. The way they think is, I'm gonna come and convince you. Yes, I'm gonna come and the idea is, I'll come and convince you. If you're dumb enough to vote for me and give me power, now, there's no limit. I can do whatever I want. Look at, some of them are not voted in, but if you think Cuba is bad, put Mandams up in New York. You will see. He would destroy this country.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So people like Linwood, remember, you have no other place to run to, no other country. You are fighting to see America go down on its knees. You think you are upset at white people, but this is your country too. You are helping people who want to bring your own house down. So because you are angry at your neighbors for whatever reason, you want to help those people because you think they are bringing your neighbor's house down. No, your house is going down too, just so you know. So this is how communists work, in case you haven't seen it. But I'm just letting you know, start waking up because the wrath is on its way.
Well, what did Noam Chomsky say? He literally said this yesterday after this whole Charlie Kirk thing. He said to the left, he said, we can't go and use violence because we can't win that game. It's not the left. The right is so much more sadistically violent when it gets going than the left is. So I don't know. I'm wondering. The thing is what it does. They're counting on the fact that they've demoralized the American populace so much into hating themselves that they won't respond. But the issues have caused so much of a reactionary anger that I don't know.
Look, the end game, let me tell you, they want a civil war.
Well, yeah, they want to create a country like
they want a real civil war where people would go at it in the streets. Then that would give them the power, to confiscate the guns. Okay, once they do that, they are going to, take complete control of this country and break it down, into several different countries. This is why I go and listen to some of your radicals. I mean, think about how crazy this is. They got someone like Ilhan Omar, a first-generation refugee straight from Somalia, in Congress, letting you know she's representing Somalia. What does that tell you? You got, AOC and others, go listen to what they are saying. But people are so angry and they are blind by what these people are saying. They're not researching, they're not listening. Even you can even study Rwanda, even Rwanda, their genocide, how it happened. You can go study that. All happened in the media. Rich people in the back pushing the narrative, Then you get people like Linwood who start talking about Martin Luther King, when the same people that are behind Charlie Kirk getting shot are the same people behind Martin Luther King getting taken out.
Exactly, same people.
Same people, okay? It's not like they just started trying to take over. They had to shut Martin Luther King down because he was waking up the masses to a different information. Charlie Kirk goes into the universities to reverse this brainwashing that they are doing in these schools. He is engaging the debates, he's letting it happen. And when people are talking, debating, it opens up their mind to think. But when people just shut down, they don't talk to each other, and the hate is just being perpetrated in the media nonstop, people become more and more angry. When people don't speak, people start going to war. That's when the war begins.
But hold on, Afrodamus. I also said too, Dr. King also said, I was only quoting from Dr. King, riots, burning and looting is the voice of the unheard.
But what did he say about those things? Repeat the next sentence after he said that.
But
what did he say? Linwood, you take a snippet and
now I'm only here to snippet, but Dr. King
said, I understand why people riot. It is the voice of the
unheard.
But we must follow our religious and moral values. That we must use nonviolence.
Yes, Dr. King preached nonviolence, and you're correct about that. But
why are you saying that he was just saying riots were okay?
But no, riots are not okay. Hell, I don't think it at all is okay. No, not at all. But what I'm saying is, and what I'm trying to bring up this conversation to is, when you don't have power in this country, and when you're not at the table, you're on the menu. What do you expect those people to do?
Linwood, then how did they win?
Wait a minute, stop.
How did they win before? How did he win?
I mean, Dr. King had to win by shockingly having to go on television, and actually it was the document that came out, Fire and Fury.
How did he win?
How
did he win, Linwood?
Dr. King actually used the media.
Linwood, what's the famous saying?
He used the media.
Linwood, first they laugh at you, then they ignore you, then they fight you, then you win.
Well, that's not what Dr. King said either. Dr. King used
that's the saying. I'm just saying that is the entire message, though, Linwood.
He used the media as a way to expose white people of their atrocities towards
No, Linwood.
Actually, he did.
Linwood, no.
That was their strategy.
No, Linwood. He made a legal argument.
Was their strategy.
What did he say? He said, if I would have lived in China or Russia, I would understand. But I live in America, and somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read about the freedom of assembly. All we are not asking to be held up higher than anyone. We are asking for the rights that you promised for everyone. He's saying that you made a promise that must be held.
All that he said. But the strategy.
What else did he say? Did he also say that Did he also say that civil rights are only for American blacks and whites and none other?
Actually, I don't know. I never heard him say that.
Yeah, you need to read more about what he thought about immigrants, Linwood.
I mean, well, that's bullshit.
That's bullshit, Linwood. What did Cesar Chavez?
Listen,
Linwood, what did Cesar Chavez call Latino immigrants?
Cesar Chavez said that about immigrants. As far as
what did he call them, Linwood?
I don't know what Cesar Chavez called them.
He called them wetbacks, Linwood.
Like himself.
No, he called himself. He thought he was separate. American-born Latinos were different than illegal aliens.
So wait a minute, separating yourself from where you come from?
That's not where he came from. He came from America.
But wait a minute, wait a minute. But his family came from somewhere.
Yeah. But he didn't.
But
he was American.
but I don't like this. I don't like this superiority attitude.
No, he was fighting for his people, not people jumping the border and doing it wrong.
I don't
and
like
getting
this,
and then taking it from the
I don't
farmers
like
of
this
Latino
attitude.
descent that were there already.
I don't like this attitude. I
Linwood,
don't buy
then you
into
gotta
it.
blame a Latino for hating a fellow Latino. Then Linwood,
I don't listen. I don't get it. I don't engage in that. That's what white people do. That's what you do. I don't do that. I'm not going to engage in that type of attitude.
well, why did he, Linwood, and why did Martin Luther King? What did Martin Luther King say about Africans coming here? Did they get the same rights? No.
Well, but hold on here. If they come to the United States, I mean, they're applying for citizenship. I mean, what's this attitude about?
What I'm saying, Linwood, is you think these men are all encompassing of what you represent, Linwood?
Bullshit.
These are men that are complicated. They're not just this one idea that everything was everything.
What this guy is saying is what you're saying is total and utter bullshit.
Okay, so you're saying MLK supported all rights for all illegals and immigrants.
The same shit that Moxie's talking about, which I agree with her on. This is the exact same thing you and Afro Maris.
And why are you allowing them to do it? They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about your safety. They would rather you, like, let's say if you lived in New York City, you should see the subways. They were so bad before. They've at least gotten better. You think Kathy Hochul was riding those subways? She was like, what crime? They don't give a shit and they want security. AOC is dangerous too. She's like, oh, everybody's okay. Yeah, fighting for, more crime, it seems like. But with her, she's doubling down on her security. She doesn't give a shit.
I mean, well, listen, I guess now today the two major parties have basically pushed themselves to oblivion, to extremes where even
exactly,
and they have pushed them. They have actually pushed the narratives of violence to where the people now believe everything they say. And with social media,
we need to do what's right for our country and the safety of our people. These people on the ultra left, they don't give a shit about us, man.
Wait a minute. The ultra left. Let me explain something to you about that. The ultra lefts, they're not even caring about voting. They don't think politics is relevant. They don't care about voting.
They don't care about. I'm telling you, I'm around them all the time in New York, bro.
I mean, well, let's keep. I mean, listen, I've talked to Antifa people when I was studying the Tom Metzgers, the Louis Beams, the actual, unrefined white.
Was that in your queer studies class, Linwood?
No, these are actual white supremacists that got bodies and are convicted. When I was studying about the Greensboro massacre in 1980.
So you're talking to white supremacists, and
I've actually talked to white supremacists. Yes,
okay, so Linwood, so why are you angry at all of us? You should then realize what a white supremacist is compared to the normal bullshit that you're being fed.
Actually, no, the white supremacists that they're unrefined. They're refined. They're out with it. And I appreciate that. They're honest. Unlike white people who are refined in their racism, they're not honest.
Linwood, what's refined?
I have a lot of respect for a unrefined white supremacist because they tell me straight up, look, this is what it is. We are for our race.
Linwood, are you telling me that like the brand is like not refined and all that shit? That they aren't hiding the Swazis now and all that kind of stuff and trying to be more.
Well, once again, if you actually read Neely Fuller Jr.'s book,
Linwood, I've interviewed more felons and bigger and more level.
So what I'm saying is
that you can imagine.
So as one gentleman I saw his post, as the white supremacists become less refined in their racism, it's going to become more and more unrefined in how they practice it. I'm like, yeah, you're correct. And what I'm saying to you is, yes, when I was studying the unrefined white supremacists like Louis Beam, Tom Metzger, David Duke, and some others or Matt Hale, who were, and mind
Linwood, you think those would be unrefined races?
No, they're unrefined.
NLR.
They're unrefined.
What about the NLR?
Whatever they may be.
You don't know who the Nazi lowriders are?
Yes, I'm very familiar with the Nazi lowriders. They're unrefined white supremacists. They're out in the open with it. The Aryan Brotherhood, the Aryan
Duke is nowhere near the NLR. David Duke is much more refined than the NLR.
No, they're not. They're trying to be much more refined to get more mainstream appeal. But
David Duke is actually talked about in the media. You don't talk about the NLR.
The Nazi lowriders? No. But
so who's more refined, Linwood?
David Duke attempted to be refined when he was trying to run for governor of Louisiana, and that got caught out.
Okay, so then you're still equating. You don't know what unrefined, Linwood. There are nowhere where the unrefined racists are promoted or shown.
Of course, they're unrefined in it. They're not.
Okay, so but why are you equating the ones that are shown as the unrefined ones? Like David Duke is actually interviewed on TV and stuff.
Because an unrefined white supremacist exposes a refined white supremacist.
No, Linwood.
I remember watching an older show when Ronald Reagan's son, he had a show back in the early 90s. I caught a clip of it. And it was Tom Metzger, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and they were on the stage. And during the commercial break, Dr. Welsing reaches over to Tom Metzger and says, "Hey, Tom, you know, how many white people in this country you think share your views?" And Tom Metzger said, "All of them." All of them.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Linwood, you're listening to a crazy person, an asshole, talk about other people. Like Linwood, do you think?
Wait a minute, hold on. Do you even know who Tom Metzger is?
Yeah, he was ex Ku Klux Klan Grand Dragon. Yes, Linwood, I know who he is.
That guy.
Yeah, bald black guy. Looks like a thumb.
And he had a show called Race and Reason.
Yeah, Linwood. That's all just refined bullshit, Linwood.
No, that's unrefined.
No, that one that's refined. And he's sitting on a television talking about it, Linwood. See, this is what I'm saying, Linwood. You've not even studied the racial undertones or the real shit that goes on of what racism is. You don't even know that what you're calling the most extreme race, like you're talking about the brand or something like Aryan Brotherhood, they deal with Mexicans every day in prison and they don't do overt racist shit, Linwood, because there's politics and money involved. You don't even know how prison politics works.
Well, unrefined white supremacists, actually at times, you're correct. They will side with
at times. Also, tell me when there's there's all
but I don't.
Tell me where there's racial.
I would say this as well.
Tell me where they allow that shit on the yards.
I would say this as well. I don't use the word Mexican because Mexican is not a race.
Well, okay. Southern and norteños and sureños.
Those are they're separate.
Is that a better definition?
They're gangs. Yes, they're gangs. The Nortos, I think they side. They're not with the Aryans, and the Cerrados are.
The Sureños are with the Brotherhood.
Yes.
The Norteños are with the Black Guerrilla family.
Yes. I'm familiar. Yes, you're correct. That's true. That is the split. But let me tell you exactly what racism is. Racism is the scientific practice of unjust subjugation, misuse, and or abuse of persons classified as non-white by persons classified as white on the basis of color or non-color, and or on the basis of factors associated with color or non-color.
Linwood.
It is incorrect. It is incorrect to use the term white racism. To use this term is to imply that racism exists in a form other than white supremacy.
What about Asian supremacy? Do you believe in Asian supremacy or no?
Asian supremacy is the same thing.
Okay, what about black supremacy? Or Arab supremacy?
Black supremacy. That's a great question. Black supremacy, you say. Black supremacy. Black supremacy is the subjugation of all white people by white people and or non-white people for the basic purpose of pleasing and or serving any and all black or non-white persons at all times in all areas of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Now, if anybody on this panel can tell me where does such a system in the United States and globally do we have global black supremacy based on that definition?
Look, here's the thing, Linwood, like you guys mentioned prison. Like I've worked in the corrections prison for over 8 years in the past, and I know a whole lot about the gangs, Norteño, Sureño, the Peckerwoods, the Aryans. I remember there was a guy, right? He has like swastikas on his elbow, all over his body.
Very familiar.
But this guy, he would literally wait for me, by his cell, because it's like bars when I'm doing tear checks. So we would have conversation, we would talk, right? He would pick my brain. Then one day I asked him, I said, aren't you Aryan? You supposed to hate, blacks, right? He was like, yeah, I do, like that. So I asked him, I said, how did you come to hate blacks? I said, did you go to school with blacks? Did you grow up in a town with blacks? Like, then he looks at me, he thought about it. He's like, huh. He's like, you got a good, good question. Blacks never did anything to me. He said he grew up in a small town, but this is just the belief system. I said, I'm black. I said, and you always talking to me and you seem to like me. He wouldn't admit that he liked me, but if somebody's always waiting, trying to have good conversation with you, obviously they have interest. So this is the thing. People can have wrong misconception. They can put stuff in their brain, but conversation is what changes people's mind. And that guy, his mind changed because he's like, huh, I never thought about it. He's like, I didn't grow up around blacks. They didn't do anything to me.
You had the Daryl Davis experience. You had the Daryl Davis experience.
He said he just go, he was just going by, what he was told. Majority of the people that you would see in the prison, they would say even Aryan, whatever. From my experience, what I've seen, yes, they form like their group, their gang, but they're not even going against blacks. I don't see them fighting with blacks. Blacks have their own gang. The Hispanics have their own, So the prison politics is that way.
Well, they're separated because to avoid this. Because look at your own race disciplines your own race. So if there's an issue, like let's say the whites, if there's an issue that the blacks have with the whites, and the white guy did something, the blacks will come to the whites and be like, "Hey, this got to be done. Or there's going to be some issues here. We don't want to lose money. We don't want drugs to be stopped flowing. We don't want to lock down in the yard. So you guys got to handle this shit with your own white dude, or else there's going to be a price that you guys got to either pay up in money or drugs or some access or something to us to make it up for what he did." You know what I mean? And that's how shit goes. It's
exactly.
not just Linwood has never been in there. He doesn't knows anyone who's been there. He's never interviewed people. Like I've never been to Corcoran. I've never been to Folsom. I've interviewed places. All these places.
But to give you a clear definition, what I mean by refined racism, so you understand what my positions are. Refined racism is racism, white supremacy that is practiced in a manner that is so deceptive and or so appealing that it is generally acceptable and or very pleasing to the victims of it. So that means that the practice of what I mean by refined and unrefined, refined white supremacy racism is that it is deceptively practiced where I, who is a victim of it or aware of it, don't even have a clue of it because it looks so nice, it looks so pretty. As the unrefined white supremacy.
Give us examples.
Let me example.
I'm actually giving that. I'm giving that now. Excuse me. That's actually where I was going. Example. The white supremacist that was talking to Afro Monolith, whatever his name is. That's refined white supremacy. Yeah, I can talk as a white person. I can talk to you and say, "Oh, I never thought about that." Well, blah 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 blah. I can be friendly with you, but I will never allow you to be anywhere near me.
Linwood, what about the black people or white people who adopt black kids and the black people who adopt white kids? And this happens, Linwood.
I find that a little suspicious because we're not under a political. We're not under a political system where white people. I think no white person should adopt a non-white kid. Period.
Why?
I don't believe in it.
Any kid who has who isn't any orphan should be taken. Shouldn't you always want the child who's in an orphanage or doesn't have any parents, who hasn't been lucky to have someone that loves them?
Okay, let me respond to that. On the back side of that response, on the back side of that statement, you should never have offspring if you're not willing to, one, feed them, clothe them, or take care of them, or even teach them about anything of value.
People make mistakes, Linwood.
And children are not a mistake.
No, the act of the sex without protection was the mistake, not the child.
No, the act of sex itself was not a mistake.
Yeah.
So
reverse the reality. Linwood, the life is not the mistake; it's the act, not the life. The act. It's a life.
But if the people who are engaging in sexual intercourse and or sexual play are not prepared to have offspring, There's a condom. There's Trojan. There's
Linwood. You know you can get pregnant even with a condom,
there's
even on birth
bareback.
control.
There's lambskin. You
Linwood,
know,
Linwood, you can even on birth control get pregnant. It happens.
It does happen. But once again, I don't think any white person should adopt a non-white child.
Linwood,
We don't function in a society. We don't function in a society that is genuinely.
Linwood, what does a child do wrong that it doesn't deserve love, Linwood?
Well, we don't have love in this society. There's not a love.
There's no love in this society, Linwood, at all.
If we had from a compensatory counter-racist logic, if we had love in the society, we wouldn't have the violence that we have. I wouldn't be speaking.
Linwood, if it's violent, why last year were there 563,000 black on white violent crimes and only 93,000 white on black violent crimes, Linwood?
Should have never happened. That's what I'm talking about right there.
So all those never happened.
No, it should have never happened. That's the point. You made my point right there. The fact that people are killing each other, that's not love. And then you don't produce a society.
You're perpetuating violence, though.
A society,
both of you,
a society, and I'll admit, out of anger, I have. But
you need to control your emotions, though. Okay.
Well,
that's a sign of weakness.
Because I get it. Well, excuse me. I get emotional. I get an emotion as a person because my humanity is on the line. Let's be honest about that.
How is your humanity on the line? How is it on the line?
Well, brother, with all due, I know you're not my brother and thing, but I'll just say that as general talk.
Like, I mean, are you saying something's going to fall off the top ramp and hit you, Linwood, or what?
Hold on, wait a minute, hold on. As another victim of racism, VGQ, because he doesn't think he is VGQ.
Who's a victim?
You're qualified to say you're not. You're qualified.
I'm no one's victim, sir.
Okay, you're qualified. I'm not. Wait a minute. I'm asking you. Wait a minute. Hold on. We ended right there. You automatically qualified, VGQ. So, any discussion between you and I, that's done. We don't have.
Okay, here's Linwood. I noticed when this man.
Hold on, but let me say this.
When this man was telling
why
you
my life was on the line. You asked me why my life was on the line.
Yeah, then you shifted it.
For those non-white persons. Now, for those non-white, persons who do not believe that we're under a political system of racism, white supremacy, this does not apply to them. So they're out of it. Those who do, however, I am speaking to them. Our lives are on the line. And we know that any moment we can be the 10 people that got shot at the top supermarket at any time.
By a black person?
No, that was a white person that did that.
Oh, no. You are more likely to get shot by a black person, sir.
At a supermarket?
Sir, that happened one time in Buffalo. Now, all of a sudden, that's the standard.
But Buffalo, New York. Then Kentucky at a Kroger supermarket.
Look,
Linwood. Wait a minute. Sir. You're not qualified to have this conversation. So
why am I not qualified? Why am I not qualified? I'm asking. Why am I not qualified? Just answer. You don't have to be dramatic.
With all due respect, we have no conversation here, brother. No.
Oh, okay.
So
you can't. So
let me ask.
So you're just saying things. You're just saying things you can't answer, right?
So let me respond. Well, I'm not going to respond to a person that does not understand what I'm speaking about.
Well, that's why I'm asking you.
I'm talking to those who do. I'm speaking to them. So, as the people that I'm actually speaking to, you're not qualified in this situation. You're out of it. So
why?
Hey.
Why?
According to compensatory logic, any non-white person who doesn't believe that racist white supremacy exists, we don't have as far as counter-racist code, we have no conversation with them.
So it doesn't exist.
We actually see them out.
Racism does exist. With that being said, you either play the game or the game plays you.
And you're a white person, you can play that game. So as a result of that,
I'm not a white person, but I guess I'm white enough.
As I will go on forward, I only talk to
Linwood, you called yourself out.
I'm talking.
Looking to basically.
I'm talking to the suspected.
Yourself.
I'm talking to the suspected white supremacist.
Which one?
Who's the suspected white
the one that's
supremacist?
speaking right now.
Imperius?
You calling who?
Him and her. Suspected white supremacists.
What makes her? What makes her?
Linwood,
What makes her?
you know
She's
what?
not even
Linwood,
white.
You're a piece of shit. Linwood, you're a piece
She's
of
not.
shit for that.
She's not even white. How is she a white
ashamed of
supremacist?
yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. Seriously, that's
Ma'am,
pathetic.
ma'am, my life is on the line, so I can't be ashamed.
Your life is on the line because you're completely insane.
Nope. That's for my safety, ma'am.
See, Moxie, you see
Hey,
what
listen,
happens when you have
ma'am. If I saw you and your husband,
But he's not. You
if
understand?
No,
if I saw
Linwood,
you and your husband,
Linwood
hey,
is
look,
the normal
hey,
liberal,
look, ma'am. Hey, look, ma'am.
Dude,
Hold on.
why do you think I don't fuck with these people? They're insane.
Well, ma'am,
I'm
hold
trying
on.
to talk to them, but
well,
now
Moxie,
he's gone off the deep end.
Well, Moxie, hold on here. If I saw you and your husband, I would be afraid for my life because you two are white people. You two are white people.
Really?
Don't matter if you speak Spanish or not. You're white people. So I feel threatened. So I would be. Hold on, sir. Sir.
So you're
Hold
a
on.
pussy then.
Now,
you're a pussy.
Nope, not a pussy at all. I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna do. You're a white person. I don't know what you're gonna do.
Anything.
I suspect you're a terrorist. I suspect you're a killer.
Disrespected you, Linwood. Linwood.
So,
you're a bitch because I never disrespected you until you disrespected me.
Hey,
and now
hold
you're
on.
Victimizing yourself.
For my safety, I have to think about that. For my
so
safety.
Linwood,
I don't want to end up. Hey, listen. I don't want to end up like James. Hey, listen. I don't want to end up like. Hey, listen. I don't want to end up like James Byrd being dragged from the back of a truck.
You're the one that made.
I don't want that.
And I'm still not scared of you. You want to know why? Because I have moxie. I have cojones. You don't scare me.
I'm not trying to scare nobody. I'm afraid.
You're the one that made threats before.
Hey, look. I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
Bruh, you need to see a doctor then, bro.
I'm afraid. I fear for my
She's
life.
5 foot, 100 pounds. Linwood, shut
I'm not
up.
5 foot. I'm 5'6".
Guys, you remember what I said earlier? Do you guys remember what I said earlier? I said they bring the insane, the transgender, all of them together.
Yeah, they try.
So this man, have you guys not? Hold on, let me finish.
Let's be honest about that. You mentioned transgender. You mentioned transgender. You mentioned transgender. First of all,
dude, let me. Can I say a word without you interrupting?
That's a form of sexual confusion.
Look,
that's a form of sexual confusion.
Jeez, can I speak without interruption? If you guys notice, he just proved my point that it is the insane, whatever color they are, it don't matter. He just happened to be black, so he is basing his reasons on the blackness. If you notice, when someone came on here, was asking what Martin Luther King was he fighting for Africans or not? He didn't want to touch that because their talking point is we fought for you in the civil rights. No, Martin Luther was fighting for his own people, just like Cesar Chavez had nothing to do with Africans. But he skipped that. He didn't want this man to narrate that because that would destroy the story that they want to push. But Linwood, you have proven to be an insane person. For you to look at Moxie and say she is white.
Hold on, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Now, I will give you a clear definition.
Let me finish. Look.
Go ahead.
Let me just finish.
I will give you the clear definition.
So you hold on. You've proven.
Right here.
Hold on. You've proven. Hold on. You couldn't explain racism, and you saying you were afraid of Moxie and other white people, even though she's not white. That tells me that you are definitely insane. You are a perfect candidate for this leftist. This is why you are one of them. You need to go see a doctor. You definitely need to go see a doctor.
All the words you're using, I will read them in definition. Now, this is why I call Moxie a racist suspect, and this is what a racist suspect is.
No, you're just looking for attention.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Hold on. You're doing.
Hold on, I'm reading. Racist suspect, suspected racist white supremacist. Mr. Fuller said in his compensatory counter-racist word guide to use these terms to apply to any person who appears to be white or who is classified as white and or who functions as an accepted member of the white nation, racist nation, and who
I'm
willfully
not any of those
So if you're
hold on,
black
wait a minute,
and
hold
you're
on, wait a minute,
accepted
wait
in
a
the
minute.
white nation, are you a white
I'm gonna put it all in context. So let me do my thing. And who willfully and
Linwood, give
deliberately
it up.
says
She's not white.
or
Just give it
does
up.
You're
anything
actually
that
like
indicates
representing black people very poorly right
a
now. You know that,
a
Linwood, right?
willingly
You're
indicates
looking very, very bad and delusional right now.
indicates a willingness to participate in any speech, action, or inaction that helps to establish, maintain, expand, and or refine the practice of white supremacy racism in
Oh,
any
that's what you're
one
doing right
or
now.
more areas of
That's what you're
activity.
doing right now.
I'm not a white person. If a white person
And
is
neither am
able,
I.
excuse
But
me,
you are
excuse
actually
me, excuse me,
supporting this trope.
if a white person is able to be a racist white supremacist, he or she may be one and should only be suspected of being a suspected white supremacist. Now these
Wait
are
a
the examples.
second.
Now these
No.
are
Linwood.
examples. Now
Linwood,
these
you were
are the
just asking
examples.
me on a date yesterday. What happened to that?
These are
Even
the
when I was
examples.
married,
These
even
are
when you
the
knew I was married,
examples.
you asked me for a date.
This is
What
the
happened to that?
examples. A
Now I'm
white
a white
person,
supremacist?
a
You need
white
mood
person,
stabilizers.
a white person is a
Mood
racist suspect,
stabilizers.
suspected white supremacist if he or she willfully and deliberately does any one or more of the following during the existence of white supremacy racism. Bullet point number 1 says something to or about a non-white person that is
Look,
not
now
true.
everything makes sense. That's
Bullet
why
point number 2.
you were saying Moxie's mom didn't want
Bullet
her
point
to
number
go with
2.
Yeah.
blacks. You
He
were
asked
out
me
Either
there
out on a
asking
date
her.
withholds
yesterday.
Yeah.
or
Now
He
fails
we
to
know
asked me
why
give.
out on
he's
a date
upset.
yesterday.
See,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, they don't want me to get
Now
to it, right?
cut
Linwood
it
Now I'm
got
about
off.
to land the
eclipsed
Asked
by
plane.
me
a
on a
blonde
I'm
date
girl
about
and
to
he
land
would
the
love
yesterday.
white
plane.
people.
I'm about to
You
land the
asked me
plane.
on a date yesterday.
Yeah, now we know
Even
why
after
you're
I
going
told you
after
you were
her.
now you're
Hold on.
calling me I'm a
Bullet
white
point number 2.
supremacist? You're insane.
Either withholds or fails to give to a non-white person constructive
Moxie, he's
information
trying to shame you. Don't fall for it.
No, I'm not. He's
such
like playing
information
himself.
and
He
or
doesn't
such
even live around black people.
and or give such information in a manner that does not produce the most constructive result. Bullet point number 3. Had the opportunity and the ability to give constructive help to a non-white person who is in need of that constructive help,
So
but
the
did not give
constructive
that
help would
constructive
have
help.
been okay. So the constructive help would have me going
Bullet
on a
point,
date with you.
bullet point number,
Married.
bullet point
So
number
maybe
4.
that would have been
Bullet point
constructive for
number,
me to cheat on my husband with you.
bullet point,
Then I
bullet
wouldn't
point,
be a white supremacist,
bullet
right?
point.
You should be
Actually,
ashamed of yourself.
bullet point number,
You should be
bullet
ashamed of
point number
yourself.
4. A
Linwood,
You
you've been
should be
racist.
babbling
Hold
for
ashamed
on,
a
of
wait a minute.
long
Hold
yourself.
time.
on.
It's enough,
Bullet point
Linwood.
number
Can
4.
somebody interrupt him, please? He's just
I'm reading.
blowing hot
I'm
air.
giving you examples here. I'm just reading examples. That's all I'm
But
doing.
your
Linwood, other
examples
people
are
get
how
to
you act.
respond, Linwood.
Okay, that's fine. Engages in so-called
Man,
homosexual.
is he going to read a whole book while we sit here and lose
He's
brain
Actually,
doing
cells?
I'm almost
exactly.
done.
Interrupt him.
Guys, come
Stop
on,
him.
I'm
man.
almost
Idiot.
done. I'm almost
Yeah,
done.
no, come on, man. You're talking nonsense. We heard you try to say,
Engages in
Linwood,
so-called
she's not impressed by your education. She doesn't care about these books.
You're just
homosexual
reading
intercourse
bullshit.
and or sexual play with against a non-white person and or directly or indirectly speaks or acts in support of other white persons who do the same. Bullet point number 5.
No, we're not going down 100 bullet points, Linwood. That's enough. You got
Just
4
stop
bullet
him.
points.
Just stop him, gentlemen.
Y'all don't want to
Stop
hear.
him.
Y'all don't want to hear this.
No,
Y'all
we're
don't want to hear
done,
my
Linwood. We
No,
get
we
the
don't.
idea. We
No,
get
we
the
don't.
idea.
It's
Gotcha.
bullshit.
Okay.
Got
Now
you.
we
You
understand.
played
Now
yourself.
we
You
understand.
played yourself. You
Now
played
we
yourself.
understand.
Congratulations.
Now we understand.
Linwood,
Supports.
let me ask you a question. If you got a kiss from Livy Dunn or a young Pam Anderson, would you like white people?
No. Supports sexual
If you
intercourse
got
and
to
or
touch a
sexual
young Pam
He
play
wants the
Anderson or a
between
young
cookie.
white
Denise,
He wants
persons
the
with
cookie.
each other who have not proven that they use most of their time and energy thinking, speaking, and acting to
Linwood, what about
replace
that blonde girl
white
you hit on? If
supremacy
she hit on,
racism
if she banged you,
with the
Linwood, would
system
you
of
like white
justice,
people?
balance
Linwood,
between
why
people.
did you ask me on a date even after I told you I was married yesterday? And now, and I was actually extremely polite. And now using this
Yeah,
hateful
they
rhetoric
are
and
you just
I'm not.
accusing
Hey,
me.
listen. Hey, listen, Moxie. I may like you sexually. All of your non-white, all of your. I suspect you are a white person. I don't know that for a fact, but you look like a white person. Okay. Now I may like you and all that, and I may think you're sexually attractive. But baby girl, because I may like you sexually and have may have some sexual attraction to you, does not mean, however, that you are not in a powerful class as much as I am. I can be on top of you and popping your guts out and giving you orgasms all night long.
You're
Doing all that.
disgusting.
I
I'm
mean,
a
wait, hold
married
on, wait a
woman.
minute,
You
wait a
have
minute, wait a
no
minute, wait a minute,
morals.
hold on.
You have no
Wait a minute,
morals.
hold on.
If you were on top of me, I
Moxie,
would
hold
die
on.
from suffocation, fat
Moxie,
fuck.
Moxie,
Okay?
hold on. Moxie, hold
Calm
on.
down.
Moxie, hold on for a moment. I'm saying it in context. We can be engaged in
We
sexual
don't need
intercourse.
those
Excuse me.
visuals. We do not need those visuals.
Wait a minute.
Okay?
Hold
We
on.
know what you look like.
I'm not. I'm just saying in general. Not.
Linwood, can
actually.
you go on cam and say this real quick? I want to
So-
see where you're saying this.
So
No, the comment is hiding
yes,
him. Actually,
yes. Hold
you
on.
see?
No.
Put him in
I'll
the
take
center
that
of the
down.
screen.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid.
Pondering. Put him in the middle of the screen. Put him in the middle, pondering.
I'm not afraid of it because I may have
Pondering. Put him in the middle of the screen. Pondering.
as much as I may have sexual attraction to Moxie. Does not mean, however, that Moxie is not in the same political position as I am. I may like Moxie's
Ponder.
brain.
Put him in the middle.
I
Where
like-
the fuck is question to Ponder? She got to pay the fuck attention if she's gonna run the show.
Excuse me. I may think that Moxie is a very interesting young lady because she has a mind. I may like that. But Moxie and I are two different people. Now, like I said, Moxie can be on top of me, but she is still on top of me politically. Her and her husband. I can like Moxie. I can go to the Shang Dang with Moxie, hold her hand, tell her how pretty she is, and she smells all good. Girl, woo! But does not matter at all. I am still not politically equal to Moxie, even if I have sexual attraction to Moxie.
It's more about class than it is politics or race.
Why is Ponder such a horrible host on this channel?
Now, the only class that exists is the powerful class and the powerless class. All non-white people, even those who don't believe they are powerless in their political, socioeconomic stats in the United States. Moxie, on the other hand, and her husband are the only people who are in the powerful class. But if I were to meet Moxie up front, close and center, I will bet you on a scale of 1 to 10, most of the people that are in Moxie's family are like her. They share her.
No, they're not.
They share her fair skin.
I'm actually one of the lightest in my family. My mom and I. They're darker.
Okay.
My brothers are darker as well, just so you know. And I have my grandpa was like a light brown. I'm happy to share a picture with you, but you know,
now I'm gonna ask
we
that
have
question one
different
more time.
shades in my family, just so you know. That's kind of like the Dominican thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
the miscegenation
we're
that was
mixed.
rampant in the
We're
Dominican
mixed.
Republic.
We're basically a walking colonization. We already had this conversation. I don't know why you're stuck on trying to shame me
Now,
because of my skin color.
I'm not
It's
trying to
like
shame you.
really just a
Listen,
turn-off,
Moxie.
and
Listen,
it's
Moxie.
just
Listen, Moxie.
pointless.
I'm not trying to shame you, but Moxie, I got to be honest here. You got to prove to me and other non-white people that you're not participating in maintenance, expansion, refinement of that system. You and your husband. Otherwise, I don't care if you speak Spanish. I don't care if you go to that. I don't care about that. You can
The
speak that all
fact
day.
that I speak so candidly and that I'm able to hear you out. And hear
I
both
like you.
sides
Moxie,
out.
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, Moxie. I like you.
Listen,
But
I'm
Moxie, I
not.
still have to be
I'm a
suspicious of you
genuine person.
because you're a white person.
You're just like, I'm suspicious, of all of you because you're strangers on the internet. Okay. But I think that I'm coming in good faith and having a discussion here with you. We've talked several times And I've been consistent. And then you keep on going back. You say, no, I take that back. You're not a white supremacist. And then you just turn around and flip on me. It's like you need mood stabilizers or something, bro, because
Moxie,
this makes no sense.
but
I've been
Moxie,
consistent with you, bro.
Moxie, I have to be safe.
You're being irrational because you're
I'm not,
going to extremes when nothing
I
has
can't
changed.
be,
I've been
I can't be
consistent with my
rational.
policies
I can't be
and
rational,
my
man.
rhetoric.
I can't be.
You can't be
Listen,
rational because you're off your medication.
I can't be rational in a political society where, let's be honest, Moxie, you voted against my existence.
No,
you voted
That's bullshit. They're tricking you.
liberties.
They're tricking you. Just so you know, they don't give a shit about you. They only give a shit about themselves. I'm telling you.
I have to be safe. I
promise you.
I have to be safe.
I promise you.
George
They don't
Floyd.
care.
George Floyd didn't get a chance to be safe out here in these streets.
Dude, Linwood, George Floyd put a shotgun to a pregnant black woman's stomach.
Emmett Till never
What
got
about
a
that
chance
black
to be a
woman,
man.
Linwood? Linwood, what about that beautiful black woman who put a shotgun to?
Emmett Till never got a chance to be.
What about that guy? What about
man.
that? Who do you side with? That beautiful black queen or George Floyd when he put a shotgun to her pregnant stomach?
I would tell my brother Floyd, if I ever had a chance to talk to brother Floyd about that, I would say, brother Floyd, we don't do that.
Yeah, but what he did do that. So who do you side with? Her? Or what he did?
I definitely side with her.
Okay, so then why
that does not mean that young man.
Why not? You're saying that if someone
that does not mean
that if someone put a shotgun to your mother's stomach, you wouldn't kill him?
No.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Linwood. You're saying you would kill
the gun out of his
Charlie
hand.
Kirk for shit he says, and now you're saying
I will get the gun out of his hand.
Linwood, you're the most pussy person ever. Then,
but once again, here's what that's what I mean by black female. That's another topic you're bringing me to. That's the relationship that black people have with each other. It's very toxic. We're very toxic toward each other, and we need to stop being toxic. Just like the gentleman who does not believe he's a victim of racism, that's his right. He should not be dealing with black people anymore. He should go talk to white people and deal with white people's issues. He should not be the blacks this, the blacks this. No. What I should hear from you, Afro Maris, or whatever you call yourself, is what's going on with white people, because you're around them. That's the only thing I should hear out your mouth. The only thing I should hear out your mouth. All that I should hear out your mouth is white people. I shouldn't hear nothing about black people.
Why? The black people are the problem.
No, that's not true. That is not true. It's
okay.
the system.
Now hold on.
Okay?
Now wait a minute. Hold on, Moxie. Hold on, Moxie.
You have to
hold on. Now you say he's the problem. Now wait a minute. Hold on. Now if black people,
system. I said black people are not the problem. No, they are not the problem.
Wait, hold on. I get you, Moxie. And Imperious, if black people are the problem, white people have done a terrible job in solving the problem.
Exactly.
And white people are in charge.
Exactly. I agree with you.
And so white people should be the ones dealing with the problems in which they
are. They're going to.
They're not going to do shit.
All
white people are going to do is basically do what they normally do. Keep this thing going. They're going to raise the temperature up a little bit, but they're going to eventually try to cool it down.
What if they put like a 93 crime bill again?
That's not going to get passed through this Congress.
Linwood, what are you talking about? You're talking with this political environment. You don't think that the left is going to jump on Linwood? You know that the left only has like 6 seats in the Senate that until they're over that they can pass anything.
Actually,
you think those 6? There's 8 or 9.
Actually,
there are 8 or 9 swing states that the Republicans have. That the Republicans have the state legislature and that Trump won.
Yes.
That there's a Democrat senator. If they cannot risk to just go out there and say, oh, when the temperature in this country right now is anti-crime.
Okay. If Donald Trump wanted that done, would he have put a bill on the table right away instead of writing it in the executive order?
They're writing. You thought about that about the tax bill too. You thought he had that day one, right? No, they're making a good, big, comprehensive bill.
Actually, hold on. He actually had that because there was a thing.
No, that's why they keep refining it.
What you understand is that the Senate goes.
How did they take out Linwood? What about?
I'm explaining it. It's called budget reconciliation.
I know what reconciliation is.
So what that means is They can pass. They can pass
I was
their
talking
budget.
about the big beautiful bill.
Yes, they can pass their budget bills without any Democratic filibuster. But
Okay,
bills
yeah, and why
outside
is
of that,
that,
they
Linwood?
can't.
Did he have that? What I'm talking about, Linwood, is did he have that bill day one? No, they had to develop it. They had to write it.
Yes, well, they had the bill that that was going to get passed because of that budget
Yeah,
reconciliation.
Linwood, just like this is going to get passed.
But hold on, a crime bill is not going to get passed in the situation.
Why would you think that, Linwood?
Because here's the thing: the Republicans.
Los Angeles recalled their DA.
Wait a minute.
San Francisco recalled their DA.
They recalled the DA. The DA was defeated. But that's a
they
Democratic
recalled him. Yeah,
city.
exactly. And then the Republican won.
No, actually, a Democrat won.
No, he's a Republican. He's a Democrat in name only. He used to be a Republican until you just can't win in LA with the R. He's hard on crime.
Yes, but he's on the Democratic side.
That's
so
like saying.
Let me explain
are you saying that like Manchin's a Democrat?
Manchin's a Democrat. Yes.
Oh wow, then Manchin.
Actually, Manchin. What was interesting with Manchin is Manchin recruited Governor Justice, who was a Republican, to run as a Democrat.
Exactly, because Manchin's pretty much a Republican. You can't be a Democrat in West Virginia and win like.
Yes, not anymore. Anyway, no. But let me explain something. Republicans have 53. Democrats have 47. Now, the Republicans ain't looking too hot for the midterms. If they were, they wouldn't be drawing.
What is the Democrat? What is the Democrat approval rating?
Hold on. Doesn't matter. They're two parties.
18%, Linwood.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're two parties.
Yeah, but Linwood, the Republicans are at 38%.
Doesn't matter.
1 point gap, Linwood.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. They're at what? They're the two parties.
That's what I'm saying, Linwood.
Is
so
anybody
if the higher, even though people hate the two, they're going to vote for the one they hate less.
They hate more.
No, they're the one they hate less. Why would you vote for the people you hate?
If they hate the Democrats more, they're going to vote against the Democrats.
That's what I just said, Linwood.
But the Democrats are not the ones empowering Washington.
Linwood, no, they're not just going to vote against power all the time. They're going to vote against power if it doesn't do what they want.
But
they're not going to the Democrats because the Democrats are Linwood.
But
you've blown your good. No, you've blown that whole.
If you had that juice, you wouldn't have to redraw those districts in Texas.
We do that because no, Linwood. We've done that because the census overvalued Democrats by about 8 seats, and they admitted that. So we're just correcting a wrong that we should have 8 more seats, not 5. So the census even admitted they were wrong.
Now, if that is true, then okay.
Look it up. I swear to God, Linwood, I'm not fucking with you on that.
If you draw 4 black members out, and you draw just 2
it's
black
not just
members,
black. There's white members drawn out.
Actually, no. The white members that got drawn out is Julie Johnson.
So she got drawn out. So a white one got drawn out too, right, Linwood?
But most of the ones that got drawn out were non-white.
That's because they elect in urban areas non-white people. That's not
now,
because
mind
they
you,
just said,
in the
people.
election, like Vince Reyes and Henry Cuellar, their districts voted for Trump, but the voters in those districts also voted for them. They sent
Foxy's on the subway. Let's wish her a good trip on their subway.
They sent They sent the Democrat back to Washington. They sent the Democratic congressperson back to Washington, but they voted for the Republican for president. They split their ticket.
Yeah, people do that all the time, Linwood.
Now, that does not mean, however, that they totally support the Democrats or Republicans. They just supported Donald Trump. Now, of course, this Charlie Kirk thing is going to be out. This thing's going to be over within weeks.
Well, you think so, Linwood? Really?
It's going to be over in weeks. Just give us some time.
You're hoping so bad, Linwood.
No, I'm not hoping. That's how these. That's how that media cycle goes.
It's only the beginning. It's only the beginning. I have to run, guys. It's a great conversation, and I hope we continue having these conversations. And I'll speak to you guys later.
Don't get peed on in the subway.
I'll be on the subway tomorrow to see my brother.
Just let us know. Bye-bye.
Happy Friday. Bye.
Hi, everyone. Friendly reminder, please go ahead and like
where'd you
this
go?
chat. What do you mean, where did I go?
You've been gone the whole time. I was like, put him in the center. You were gone the whole time, bitch.
Why am I going to put him in the center or putting
Linwood was on camera, dude, committing his love and adoration to Moxie, and you didn't come, dude.
No, I'm not going to do that. No, Imperious. Everyone, please go ahead and like the chat. Please, I'm about to actually wrap up in about 10 minutes, everyone. Imperious, I'm about to wrap up in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop off. I was about to go to the gym, so
yeah, go to the gym, Imperious, 7 p.m. Eastern. Everyone come back.
Oh yeah, you have a show, right? Okay. Yeah.
We do live 7 p.m. Eastern. Everyone,
Linwood,
thank you so
I'm gonna
much.
give you a hint here. What we need to do is get you with a white girl just for once, and I think you'll love white people, Linwood. I think what it is just pent up that. Linwood, do you watch blacks on blondes porn? Linwood, are you gonna answer me or? Oh, he left. Oh, okay. Anyways, Ponder. All right, I'll hop off, but I'll see you a little later tonight. Then.
Yes, 7 p.m. Okay, great. Thanks, Imperious. Hello, everyone. I just want to go ahead, friendly reminder, we are going to be live tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. I will go ahead and put up the live shortly as a reminder, but we will be starting fresh at 7 p.m. I do want to go ahead, of course, speak more in regards to Tyler, right here on the screen, Tyler Robinson, and also in regards to Charlie Kirk. I do want to put a little bit of a historical perspective. Imperious did bring up liberalism. I was discussing that with Imperious just to make sure that we are being mindful of words, definitions, and their meanings. Words, definitions, meanings. Liberalism, there's the ideology liberalism. We study this in political philosophy. You read about this in Locke. You read about liberalism through the Enlightenment thinkers such as Voltaire, just one example. Liberalism was written and discussed by the many Prussian Enlightenment thinkers. But in the United States, that is a very different definition, which more has to do with party affiliation. I do remember Rush Limbaugh throughout his time in the sun. He would speak very ill, liberalism. It would always confuse me because by definition, the United States is liberal. This is a liberal government. Liberalism is the ideology of this country, the government and the society. One of the dissemination, freedom of speech, freedom of the press is sacrosanct and a cornerstone of liberalism. So let's be very mindful about these terms. I do want to discuss this more during our 7 p.m. live in the beginning. So there will be a little bit of work, a little bit of political talk, but we're going to come back and do a little bit of studying. Liberalism, monarchy, democracy. I do want to have proper definitions understood when it comes to socialism, Marxism, and communism. These words are thrown around quite frequently without proper meaning and definition. So I do want to discuss this in the beginning of the 7 p.m. live. And then, of course, also continue discussion in regards to Tyler Robinson. I will be keeping an eye on any new news concerning him, his church, the Unitarian Church, and his family. And of course, Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. It's very sad what happened to this young man, only 31 years old and 6'5". Wow, what a waste of height. Very, very sad. Oh, also, yes, in Nate, progressives. Well, look, when it comes to the progressive, that was a very important term in the early 20th century. When we look at the labor laws that we have now, big part because of the progressives. And let's not also forget the populist movements of the early 20th century. When we're looking at compulsory education, the 40-hour work week, we do want to look at the progressives and their contribution. So let's not be hard on that word. Words change, new words enter and are modified and even exit the American lexicon, but we want to be mindful when we use these terms and ensure that everybody's on the same page. Pacheco, hello, good afternoon. Hello, Pacheco. Hello, thank you for joining. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this live. Linwood, Moxie, Imperious, as always, thank you for your contributions. It was just fantastic. And of course, everyone from last night, Burgess and Nick Ways, Helen, thank you so much for your contributions, Helen. And we do have a number of regulars who come in. I'm so appreciated. Shredder, thank you. Samuel Giroux, Mr. Giroux, thank you very much. Brian Nichols, you're always here, Brian Nichols. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for coming in. Thank you. Thank you again. Chambalaya, thank you. Thank you very much for coming. Always appreciated. Chris M. See you quite frequently. Thank you, Chris M. Thank you again for coming into the chat. Moxie, as always, thank you for staying on the panel. Thank you. Plasma Void, thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you, Plasma Void. David Drencher, always one snow bunny will have one like Norbit. Oh, David Drencher. Oh, Ryan, you did this. Well done, Ryan. Hopefully, Ryan, I know you want to have more focus on political philosophy and also continental philosophy. Please stay tuned, Ryan. We are going to go ahead and discuss a little bit further. I do want to have a Marx live. And you, of course, thank you for reminding me, Das Kapital. I do want to have a Marx live where we do discuss Marxism, and of course, Karl Marx and his compatriot, his comrade, Friedrich Engels. So I do want to have a live focusing on them. And of course, to speak a little bit more about the German philosophers, and of course, to go even in more depth, the Prussian philosophers and those Enlightenment thinking. Marx, we don't speak enough about Prussia. Atticus has brought Prussia up on Brave's channel. People have mentioned Prussia. Prussia is really the foundation of Enlightenment thinkers. Frederick the Great was a great supporter and personal friend of Voltaire. And we all know Voltaire's contribution to Enlightenment thought, Enlightenment thinking. Also, Hegel was born in Prussia. Immanuel Kant was born in Prussia, and of course, Karl Marx. So when we're looking at these philosophers that we study, even to this day, we still speak about these great people. They were born in Prussia, and present day Prussia is Germany, Lithuania, and Poland, and a few other countries, but mainly those three. EAE, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming by, EAE. Palomino, Ricky, I just saw you here. Where you go? I just saw you here, Palomino, Ricky. I just saw you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining. Oh, Japan. Thank you for joining. Your name is new to me. Thank you for joining. Please return. We have a live again at 7 p.m. Eastern. Please join us. Thank you. White John Galt, always looking out. Thank you. Who's that? I wish my contacts were better. I wonder who's that's on your Avi. Who's your Avi? Let me find that out. White John Galt too. Thank you for joining. You're always here. Thank you. EAE, always. Thank you for stopping by. Come back, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be live again. We live. Palomino Ricky Z, always and forever. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Look what else we have here. Burgess, I know I said hi to you. Latino for Trump, my dude. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you. See you later for sure. Artifacts, our first member. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Artifacts, thank you. Thank you for joining and your contributions and your live chats. Thank you. Thank you for being a member, sir. Thank you, Artifacts. Latino for Trump, Burgess. I said hi to Palomino Ricky. Helen, always glad to see you. See you again tonight, 7 p.m. Chris Reed, always appreciate your super chats. Thank you so much for your support. See you tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. We are live. Yes, we are. And I think I have everyone. Cool Kumasi. Cool. I see you a few times. Thank you for coming to the chat. Thank you for your support. Again, we're going to be live 7 p.m. Eastern. I will definitely send that link. You better be there. Wolfpack. Hello. Wolfpack, blessings to you. Always happy when you're here. Hopefully you come by 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for your support. Genevieve Ben. Genesis, am I pronouncing correctly? Please tell me if I'm wrong. Genesis Ben, I see you here. I see you at Braves. Always appreciate seeing you. Come back 7 p.m. tonight. Be there or be square. See you then, 7 p.m. And I think I said hello to everyone. If I missed you, Nick McKeemy. Nick McKeemy, hello. Thank you for joining. Your name looks new to me. Your name is new to me. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming here into the live chat. Please join our live again tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Zhang Wei, oh goodness gracious. Zhang Wei, I think I've seen you a few times here in the live chat, cutting it up. You come by 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. We're going to be there. Afrodamus, I want to say thank you for joining the panel. Thank you, Afrodamus. Afrodamus he's also a content creator. He has his own YouTube channel, Afrodamus Report. Please subscribe. Linwood, thank you for joining. Linwood, please be mindful of your commentary. No threats, Linwood. Linwood, no threats. No, sir. Thank you for joining the panel. Thank you for joining the panel. Again, thank you, Linwood. Jahad Bell, I did see you here. Thank you for joining the panel. Dan, you're a regular. Thank you for coming. See you tonight, Dan. Thank you again. And I'll see you on Braves also Sunday. Nick McKeemy again, thank you. Jay Boogie, thank you for joining the chat. I see you here and there. You see in the chat. Thank you. Thank you for coming by. See you tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the live tonight. Slick Rick, always happy to see you. My dude, always happy to see you, to enjoy in the foolery. See you tonight. I know I'll see you tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Slick Rick. Jahad Bell, again, thank you for joining. Seth Asmil, you are new. Thank you for joining our chat. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hopefully see you tonight as well, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining our chat. Thank you. Thank you for joining the live. Chris Reed, multiple super chats. Thank you, sir, for the support. Daniel Nixon, always, we do see you here quite frequently. You are appreciated. Hopefully see you again tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I believe that is everyone. DG Dwale, last and certainly not least, Dwale, thank you for joining the chat. Dwale, DG, thank you for joining the chat. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dwale. See you tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ross, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining our chat. Come by 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, sir. Thank you for the support. Bluegrass, thank you. I know you came in earlier. I see here. Thank you for coming by. Bluegrass, always seeing you. And I'll see you tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, Imperius, the Vatican assassin, Imperius Gaius Rex, the defender of the faith. We'll see you 7 p.m. We'll definitely see you. And enjoy your dinner, Imperius. Come by after you finish dinner. Atticus, always happy to see you. There's so much that you say, Atticus, on in this live chat that's just so prescient, so salient. Your comments are always read, always appreciated. You're such a brain, Atticus. So happy to see you. Yakub. The Europeans coming on by. We have the Black Brits, we have the British, we have Fez, and of course the resident Black Brits, Vanta and Atticus, and then Yakub, whom I believe is in Liechtenstein, if I'm correct. Either he's in Switzerland or Liechtenstein, but he's there in beautiful Europe. Yakub is so kind. Whenever he's on a live, if he comes on a panel, if he has time, he shows us the incredible beauty that is Europe. Absolutely. The mountains, the rivers, so beautiful. He is truly blessed. He's a blessed man and he's a Christian. Yakub, thank you for joining. If you have time, we're going to be here late at night as well. Yakub, I know we have a time difference, so if you're able to stop by, please do so. Daniel Nixon again. Thank you, Daniel Nixon. Dolomite, you were the first person here. Thank you for your support. Sorry about no sound, but we got it taken care of. And yes, we are in here. I want to say thank you again to everyone who participated in the live chat. Thank you again to all of the panelists, Moxie, Afrodamus, the Afrodamus Report. Please go ahead and subscribe. Linwood, thank you for joining. Like I said, please be mindful, Linwood, of your commentary. And of course, Imperius Gaius Rex, the Vatican assassin, defender of the faith. Thank you for all of your contributions. Thank you, everyone. And we will see you all tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you then, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye now.